Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, but more importantly, blue morning to you because, of course, it is the Blue Morning Show. I hope you all are doing well. I sincerely do hope so. And I see Lamb Land already this morning, and that gives me hope. And I want to let you know, Lamb, I'm very happy to see you around. That shows you're doing better, and I hope that's the case. Today, we'll talk about the youth players, the Chelsea Academy products. We'll talk about how they will fit into the Thomas Tuchel team if, in fact, they get the chance, and whether, first of all, they're good enough to be a part of the team. So, if you're in the chat, please, take time, first of all, to let me know where you're watching from. That's important to us. Again, I appreciate you coming out again to support the channel. Your support has been awesome for us, and please keep doing the same thing. Let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Transfer Watch on our Chelsea Perspective. Again, I thank you all. I wanted to let you know that I'm doing better myself. I've been a little bit under the weather, but I think it's just cold. It wasn't what I feared it was before. Again, thank you very much again for all the support. Here we have Phantom of Many Topics. He says, the fifth to like, I am on standby this weekend. No Vegas visit. Okay, we'll see what happens. Lam Lane says, a blue morning, Kuchila panel and chat. Lam, nice to see you. Very, very happy to see you indeed. And I really do mean that. Again, we prayed for you. I believe those of us that were in the chat also did pray for you as they promised to did. So it's nice to see you. Blue Blood says, blue morning, Kuchila. I see you got a Koulibaly with the additional transfer funds. Yeah. So thank you very much. That goes a long way, and I appreciate all the support. Good morning, Coach Phantom and Liam. Lee, nice to see you here. I appreciate your support. I hope you're doing well. And here, Lee says, this morning, I says, just people saying hello to each other. Anybody here that I haven't said hello to? I will be like a true blue now and call out the misspelling of Gallagher in today's subject. Are you serious? Oh my goodness, I'm going to try to correct that as soon as possible. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm going to check it in a bit and correct it. And that's not okay. Gala, okay, I see that. Okay, I will. He says, I will be, yeah, I've read that too. Says, okay, Leon Lane, how are you again? Just saw people saying hello to each other. And we have him there watching in Surrey, England, coach near Cobham rather than Cobham. Okay, that's a very specific there, but thank you very much. Blessed Kuchila, blessed the child, blessed my brother, Bobby Fairview. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well, and I really do mean that. The coolest HL says, big up to you, big up my brother. I will talk about your channel in a bit, so thank you very much. And sorry, I couldn't be on your show yesterday because I was hosting one at the same time when yours was going on. Hey, everyone in the chat. That's the queen of the house here saying hello to everyone in the chat. Blue morning to you too. And thank you very much for saying that. Julian Opara Oyibo says, good morning, brother. Good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well, bro. Nice to see you here. Viola here it says, hi, everyone. Hi to you too, Danny boy. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too. No, nothing else here to say. So I'm going to go straight to my co-host, Louisa. I'm surprised you have time to join me this morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you, Coach?
Okay, it looks like you're having a bit of a connection issue, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Again, I hope it fixes because you broke up a bit, but always nice to have you on the panel. So thank you very much for finding the time to join. Like I already told you guys, we have quite a few things to talk about, right? A few days ago, it was just nothing really was happening, but there was still quite enough to talk about because we looked at things from different perspectives. I think we'll start from updates. It's important that we start from updates, then we will gradually get into, making cases for the academy players. We'll discuss whether each of them, whether they're good enough for the academy, where they will fit in the team. If Thomas Tuchel decides, okay, he wants us to pick any of them. Overall, Luis, I wanna ask you this question. What do you think about the transfer window so far? Were you one of those that were concerned that there's a chance we're not going to get our targets, or there's a chance we're not going to do well in the market? I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I was actually never concerned about the transfer market. I knew that we were going to do something at the end of the day, but I'm actually quite pleased at how fast, especially the Koulibaly deal. I was actually like, wow, I might actually be liking this new owner for that. Looked like a very swift deal compared to the others, and maybe the Sterling deal was just dragging, or maybe because it's Man City, like a fellow league rival, and they were trying to make sure that they have their ducks in a row before like giving over a good player to their own rival.
Yeah, I argue. Drake will be very proud of Todd Boehly. That's because that's a prime example from going from a 0 to 100. Because it was just 6 days ago, so we were talking about how it just seemed as if the club's interest on Kalidou Koulibaly has cooled down. Maybe we don't want him anymore. Maybe the club prefers Jules Koundé or Matthijs de Ligt. It turns out they're still interested in the man, or maybe. But I'm happy. I'm happy again. So far, as you know, I have not been worried one bit. Good morning, True Blues. Sheed Ola, it sounds like a Nigerian name. Nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. Again, says after Koulibaly, then Aki and Kimpembe loading. I have my reservation for still getting both of the two players. I think one would have been enough. They both play in the same position on the left-hand side of the pitch. They are done. Let me know. And we have Levi Colwill. So why not get just one of them and keep Levi Colwill? Luis, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm not really sold on getting both Kimpembe and Ake. I think if we are going to get one, it should be it should be Nathan Ake, because Nathan Ake is actually very versatile, and when seeing Kimpembe in PSG, it always looks like is one bad tackle away from getting a red card, or just becoming kind of like leaving your team high and dry in some kind of tough situations that are not necessarily going your way. So I feel I'm not sold on the deal, but if it's what Thomas wants, I feel like there's really nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm not concerned about those rash tackles that you guys talked about. Here's the thing. I think it is something that over time he will become a much more polished player, and we'll start to see less and less and less of that kind of behavior from him. I think it's I'm not really concerned about that. I think I'd argue he's a better player than Aki. If you ask me, if we really want somebody who can come in and do the job as well as Antonio Rudiger, or even better, it is Kimpembe, and I'm serious about that. Here, Bob David says, he says, watching up from Bronx in New York. My fellow American, nice to see you here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you finding time to support me. In New York now, it should be 6:33 a.m. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Big up everyone. Smash the like button. First, I'd like to apologize to this brother for not, I missed his stream. And I think I left a comment also, but I missed the stream proper. And you understand that was probably around 2 a.m. my time. And I wanted to make it though, but I was pretty down with the cold and everything. I needed the sleep to be strong enough to host this one. But I hope it went well. And I love you, brother. Again, if you haven't, take some time to go check out CFC Fahim's YouTube channel. Great content, great individual, always objective, and that's why I am friends with him. Again, Bobby Fairview says the new philosophy brought in is becoming a very clear. Players that excel in the statistics for their positions and very decent price. It's just been solid. And not just throw money at the problem. So just buy players because they're big names or because they're popular or something like that. Now we're buying players to really solve the problems we have in the team, and that makes perfect sense. Again, that is not me saying that Roman did not do well. I don't know. I love Roman Abramovich, but again, if you read my article on Chelsea Perspective blog, I argue that there are two things that Todd Bowley must do differently. One, not just buying player for them because of their names or because the owner wants them. And again, the other thing is not. What's the other thing I talked about again? Keeping managers, to build on their success, because we've had situations where we've lost managers even after a successful season. So you make a good point there. Yes, we shouldn't just buy players because they're big names or because they're the hottest property in Europe. Let's buy players that will fit into the manager's preferred approach to the game, and that will take us a long way. Back in Good Morning, Joshua Lee. Nice to see you again. Let me see what else I have to read here. If not, I'm going to move to the panel immediately. Fahima, a big up. And this says, a big up to the coolest shells. Yep, the coolest shells, by the way, that's a Tobago. The coolest shells is the YouTube channel name. If you haven't, please take a second to go check it and be sure to subscribe. And also always remember to tell them I sent you. Good morning, Danny Boy. Yep, says the Queen of the House. And Danny Boy says, I'm so excited to hear we signed the signing of Koulibaly for his long-term contract, which makes you so proud. Yep, he's a leader. Yeah, I understand. It's clear that TT wants experience in defense. Levi and Malang need to learn the trade elsewhere and come back if they make the grade. Here's where I argue otherwise. I want them to stay and learn from the two legends you talked about, or veterans you talked about, in the club or at the club. Because here's the thing about going out on loan. If you go out on loan, there's no guarantee you come back in. No matter how good you are on loan, you come back and walk straight into the first team. No, I think usually it is very difficult. You'd have to prove yourself during preseason, and you'd have to also adapt to the way the manager wants to play. But if Levi Colwill, like I'm hearing, he's saying he doesn't want to leave, and he's not asking for too much game time. At least as long as he gets a sizable amount of game, he'd be okay with it. Then I'd say let him stay. He has two legendary, CBs from in the person of Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. There's nowhere else better to learn now for the young defenders to learn now than Chelsea Football Club. So I really want him to stay. And here we have Jose CFC, my American brother. Big up, bro. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. And I really do mean that. Jose says, big up, my brother. Smash that like button. Yes, people, as you're coming in, please keep liking that video. Yes, because the more you like the video, the more people will be able to reach. And the more people we have here, the more fun the show will be. And let me say something I've always repeated here. I'd rather you like the videos than you donate your hard-earned cash to the channel, because the likes do more for the channel. The more you like the video, the more people will have here. And there are other ways the channel can make money. And here, my brother Fine CFC says, Silva Koulibaly is a scary backline. Good luck, penetrating our defense come next season. Again, but I like a mix of youth and experience. That ensures a great balance. For me, I can say that Colwill may go out on loan. Again, I understand your argument there. Big up, coach. Big up to you too, brother. Much love from me here. Where are those who were saying that Todd Bowley out already? Again, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's only natural. If you truly care about the club, and if you're not seeing the transfers coming, players coming in, you'd be concerned too. Good morning, Coach. Kimpembe would be a good signing, a really good replacement. Again, and that's what I've argued. I think if we need anybody in that position that, do the job well, or even better, it'd be Kimpembe. But that begs the question, why are we still going for Aki? I'm not too sure about that. Kimpembe for 40 to 45 is a good deal. I'd argue the same too. Again, here it says, and as an ex-Chelsea player, I am surprised that the lukewarm response to Aki, he never put a foot wrong when he played for us, was a star at the Cherish, and did his job when called on in a stronger City team. Here's the thing, he isn't that bad at City. And again, Pep usually takes time to integrate player. And the question I want to ask Chelsea fans who don't want to see him back at Chelsea is this: when he left, we were furious. Chelsea fans were furious that he left, asking why the club let him join. Was it Bali and all those questions? But in the end, he left. But now we want him back. They're complaining, so that confuses me, and I'm not sure why that is happening. So with that, I want to say again, thank you for 24 likes. We have 63 people watching. Please keep liking the video. The likes do go a long way for the channel. And here's something else I want to talk now. I want us to talk about, and thanks to Just Viola for sharing that update with us here. This is a tweet from Fabrizio Romano, who argues that Manchester United have reached a full agreement with Barcelona for Frankie de Jong after further talks. A package worth 85 million, a fee agreed around 75 million plus add-ons. Personal terms are still the issue to be resolved, as Frankie's priority is to stay at Barcelona, which means if you want to lure him to United, you have to pay him much more than he is already owing there. But that's, by the way, I want to come to the panel, and let me start with IBZ. This clearly means that we're not getting the player, except we're foreseeing another hijack move, which is unlikely. I'm not sure that's going to happen. What do we do? Do we have? We're looking at all the alternatives that you've heard about, except for Darwin Núñez, of which you could argue is not a like-for-like type of player with De Jong. So and De Jong is a player. If he comes in, he's able. You could argue he's able to fulfill the Jorginho role, even maybe better than Jorginho does. So it doesn't look like we're really interested in signing midfielders. Do we have problems in the midfield areas? We do have midfield issues in the midfield areas, even from Frank Pad's era to the current era. That our midfielders don't create enough chances. Plus, they don't score enough goals. I know my brother, some friends and brothers, the club would argue, the primary responsibilities of the two sexes aren't necessarily to create, too many chances. But I'm not sure about that argument. So coming to you, IBZ, your thoughts. Have you heard that we're interested in any other, midfield since it's clear that Frankie de Jong is headed to Man United?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, my bad manners. Big up to you, my brother. I hope
It's
well.
okay. We thank God we finally have a new player training with the boys. Now he's, I haven't heard anything about any midfielder. I've only heard things about defenders. Obviously, the main area of concern, because that's where most majority of the outgoings went. So we already got Christensen will be replaced by Koulibaly, Pascal, Kimpembe, and or Nathan Ake, which is decent. Obviously, there's an argument that I heard this morning that which would obviously something moving forward. Why do we sell all these defenders only to spend X amount of money on buying them again? You know what I mean? Not just Rudiger, Christensen, but Guehi, Fikayo Tomori. You let these guys go, obviously, and then now we're in a situation where if we didn't let them go, we'd be all right in the first place. So yeah, we have the argument. We have to make sure we don't follow that route again, and that's why you look at Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill cannot demand that he wants first team football. Who is he?
Again, there's no way to confirm he did, and we'll get into that in a bit. We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah,
but clearly, let me ask you this: was did you at any time want us to sign De Jong?
Yes, because I felt it will add something different to what we currently have. He probably do Jorginho's role a bit better, because he's more younger and he can move more in the midfield as opposed to just being mobile and deep line playmaker holding it down. So I would be excited to see him in Chelsea colours and potentially shifting Jorginho out of his route, because I think Jorginho is a bit too old for this route now. Role he has, and he may get caught out a lot this season. and I believe that De Jong would have filled that role perfectly. But again, I think that was always a Man United target. If he came to us, that means we'd hijacked United's bid. So in terms of midfield, it seems like our midfield options are solidified. It looks like it. It looks like maybe one striker, but I seen Broja leave an elevator with Sterling heading into training, so I don't see Broja leaving. So it's I don't see any links with. I think maybe like Declared said like a couple of days ago, we probably got all these targets, and then we're just gonna sign one of the, one or two out of all the targets we wanted, just to fend off other teams trying to, or raise the bar on prices. So no, I haven't seen any midfield. Even that guy that we were looking at last week, that Sporting Matthias Nunes, I think that's gone cold now. It might reignite, but we ain't really.
Yeah, there's a chance it happens. We've learned that Todd Bowley likes to go from 0 to 100 like this, and he's proven that's something he likes to do.
It was quiet. It was quiet for a long time, and then boom, 2 signings in one day, sort of thing.
At the time we even thought we're out of the Koulibaly race, and he surprised us all.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, we can only be optimistic from now. I mean, but what I would say is, I think we need one more. Up aside from the defenders that are already coming in, I think we need one more, and it's either
and not two. I'd argue that.
No, not two. One more.
Yeah.
One more, and that one more has to be definitive, meaning it has to make sense, almost like the last piece of the puzzle. Now the problem is that I don't know where that will be. Is that a striker or is that in midfield? I will lean towards the striker because obviously having a experience.
Yeah, I think we'll get that in a bit. Let's not give away quite a lot right now. But thank you.
Yeah, I understand. No problem.
Yeah, thank you for that input. Rodrigo, I want to come to you. Your thoughts on, and by the way, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I want to get your thoughts on, the fact that De Jong, it seems like he's going to Manchester. It looks like he's going, most likely will go to Manchester United. We were hearing before that we're interested in securing his signature. It doesn't look like we're serious at all. If anything changes, then it will be a hijack. But at this point, I don't think it will.
No.
Your thoughts on us missing out the player, is he a player you wanted to see at Chelsea?
No, it's fine. I think it's fine for him to go to United. To be honest, I don't see much difference between him and Jorginho. People might disagree. I think we get De Jong in, we're gonna suffer in transition just as much as we do with Jorginho.
Really?
It's not particularly like the best defensively. This is the reason why. That's the reason why he's having issues at Barcelona, because Barcelona tried him in. Obviously, Barcelona usually play in a single pivot as Busquets, so he couldn't go in and overtake Busquets. And Busquets is not the most physical one, but Busquets is very intelligent in the way he read the game, how he reads space, and how he intercept the ball and distribute it. So what De Jong is good at progressing the ball. He's good at passing short passes in the ball. He's good at if you play a recycling football. And most Chelsea fans will say, "Oh, sideways, backward football." But that's the sort of thing like Jorginho does, anyways. So for me, if we want an update on an upgrade on Jorginho, we need someone that can do a bit of what Jorginho does, and that has a physical presence in midfield, that has the engine to run up and down, or to protect the back four.
Yeah, here's where I disagree with you. Maybe I need to look at him again, but in terms of the engine to run up and down, I think he has that. Go ahead.
Watch him again. You will see he's one of those things, maybe because we think the grass is greener. But if you watch him and Jorginho, I don't see much difference, to be honest. Maybe Jorginho is a bit slower, but there isn't much difference. And I wouldn't want to pay 80 million just to get that. Yeah, if anything, I will save up money and try for Declan Rice in next year, or if we can get him this year. For me, I personally think the way we play, we need a midfielder in a Declan Rice mold than him. We have enough. We have Kovacic. We have Kovacic and N'Golo Kante. So, but we definitely need a midfielder. I've been crying for a defender. It looks like Todd Boehly heard me. But until I see Koulibaly holding the shirt, then I'll be completely excited. But we definitely need a midfielder. I'm not really like. I think he can go to United. Even at United fans will, all right, because they will need someone to do the dirty work for him. So I guess that'll be like Fred's job to win the ball, to be that an ejected midfielder because that's the issue they had with Pogba. He's an elegant player on the ball. He does all the nice spread the ball here and there. But when it comes to in transition, especially in the Premier League, teams hit you in transition because that's what they do. They sit back. When you lose the ball, boom, they're onto you. So if you have someone like this in your midfield, you definitely need to pair him with someone who's gonna do the most of the dirty work for him. So we're gonna be in the same situation that we have now with Jorginho in some extent, and the fans will probably be calling for his head in a year or two, be like, oh yeah, we still need another midfielder. So why don't we just go out and find that defensive midfielder that would protect the back four, that's comfortable because the way we play, the centre back and that DM have to be comfortable receiving the ball in those dangerous areas to beat the press, because that's what we do. We invite the press, and then Jorginho or Kovacic will try to beat that first wave of press, and that gives us space to attack in behind. So if you have a midfield that can do that somewhere in the market, I think that would be an ideal signing. The one I have in mind right now, I just can't think beyond Declan Rice. I can't really think beyond Declan Rice. Really? Yeah.
We'll see. Again, it's still a long way to go in the transfer window. That's a chance we'll still get Declan Rice.
Yeah, even people talking about Savage. Again, Savage is very good attacking wise. Again, I've got a question mark. Is he that comfortable receiving the ball deep? Do you know when Thiago Silva passed the ball to Jorginho, and Jorginho has his back to play, and he has to sort of move out in those areas? Because what triggered the press from other team is defender receive the ball, when the defender passes to Jorginho, that trigger press. So they go and press Jorginho, and if Jorginho can escape that press, he has space and can release the ball quickly. So we need that sort of player. So
and thank you very much for that. I'll try and catch up with the chat, and then we'll switch a topic immediately. But I get your argument. I don't know, Luisa, do you have anything to say about De Jong, or should I move on?
No, I don't have anything to say about De Jong. I feel like it's not the option we should be going for right now, especially seeing, and also with the way Todd Boehly is doing his business. I don't think he would be interested in hijacking a deal that is, like we've seen, is basically done for United.
And the price is actually high already for 75 and almost 85 total. Okay, but that's right away. Thank you very much. Bobby says that the biggest issue for me is backup for Reece James. Bobby uses the language we never use here. We don't use the language backup. Reece James needs competition. He needs competition. As much as I love him, he needs competition. He needs a place that will be there, and he knows if he falters, there's someone else that's available that can come in, do a good job as well, or maybe do even better than him. And it must not always be Reece James. So we need to be able to rotate our players. They're humans after all. We play so many games, and if you don't rotate them, they will burn out, and then it gets worse. That's a chance they'll be out for the rest of the season. The reason why I've always said this: we don't need backups. We need starters at least two starters in every position. That's the difference between us, Man City, and Liverpool. Whenever player A gets injured, especially Manchester City, player B will come in and will do an even a better job. It's as simple as that. But in that case, the moment Reece James and Ben Chilwell got injured, the season was all downhill from that point. Hence, something as the midfield. the moment N'Golo Kante got injured, or what's his name, Kovacic, when he got injured too, we had issues everywhere, and our defense suffered then. For so many reasons, many people weren't paying attention. They were just bent on blaming the defense, forgotten we had, the popular, you could say our preferred pairing in the midfield that usually, even though they're not the best out at it, but they were able to protect our defense and were able to read the games and stop the opposition attack from coming into us. Rodrigo, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, you see the way Reece James and N'Golo Kante play, they're very dynamic players. That's the reason they always they get injured a lot. So the priority for me, and I think Tuchel maybe said defense, but I hope what he meant, but we need a competition for Reece James. We need it more than another centre back at this moment.
Yeah, because if he has competition, he'd do better. It's natural. That's very natural. That's natural with humans. If you have a competition, you won't take what you have. That is you for granted. You do whatever you can to keep it. It's as simple as that. Again, I say, like the stream, guys. Yeah, keep liking the streams, guys. The queen of the house says, like the stream, like the stream. We have 88 people watching, and we have 37 likes. We can do better than that. Let's shoot for 300 likes. Please help us get 300 likes. We can get there. And again, it doesn't cost you anything, and you don't actually have to donate to the channel. Just keep liking the video and also share on whatever social media platforms where you have presence. That will help us go, reach more people. And the show will be even more fun if we have more people here. Ake becomes a mistake. Again, that's a chance that's the case. There's a chance that will not be the case. Is he a good player? Yes, he's a good player. Just like Bobby has argued, he hasn't done that badly for Manchester City. But the question is, if you look at Levi Colwill, he played more games than Ake. And to me, that really matters. But again, it's an argument for another day. Please reject Ake. It's not up to us. Again, we're just here, to talk about issues and try to come to sensible conclusions. We have no say in what happens. It's not like there's where we go to vote and say we want the player A, B, or C. Now the club and Bali will look at it and say, okay, the fans don't want this player. Reportedly still interested in Klaus. I think I want Klaus to come. Klaus will be an excellent competition for Reece James. His numbers ain't that bad. This past season, again, he did quite well. I think he was around 11 goals and around 5 goals and 11 assists. Let me see if I'll find it. So I'll share with people on the screen. So if we're still interested in Jonathan Klaus, let's get him. And he's a player. It's on video also who talked about how he's a player that likes Chelsea. Let me just put it that way. Again, when I heard that he was on the verge of moving, I think what club again? Another French club. I wasn't happy at all. Let me see. Let me find his statistics here and share it on the screen with you guys so you know what a player he is, and we'll make a good competition for Reece James. Okay, this Klaus is that's his numbers for the past season. He played 37 matches. He scored 5 goals and 11 assists. That's not bad at all. And he's 29. And at 29, I think it won't be a bad purchase for around $8 million or $9 million or pounds. That reminds me of Aspilicueta. We paid similar amount to him. And look at what a player he's turned out to be for us. So these are not bad numbers at all. So he's a player I would say, let's look at him, as a competition for Reece James. Your thoughts, IBZ?
Sorry, what was that question again? Sorry, I missed
We're talking about Jonathan Klaus. Jonathan Klaus, his numbers, and
you know what?
I'm hearing that we're still looking at him. And this past season, he scored 5 goals and assisted 11 goals.
Funny enough, I have not seen this brother play. Funny enough, I don't know. The scouting knowledge I have for this guy, I don't know. But I do have alternatives that could play, that can give competition to Reece James. But with this, if he's identified, for him to be identified, it seems like obviously they've used the data to look at his numbers, and they've seen that he can provide some sort of input, to what Reece is doing. So yeah, I'm for it. Like I didn't know who Aspilicueta was before he came, and when he came, he becomes, what I mean. So when it comes to Chelsea choosing a right back, I'm for it. I would have gone for that Atalanta right back, the Dutch guy, Hans Hasselbaum. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I would have gone for him, but obviously we've got our hands on this guy. Is he Dutch? This right back?
No, it's French.
Oh, he's French. Okay, okay, yeah. Then it seems like I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have to take a look at him, and then see.
I think you
see
should.
more of him.
Yeah,
What
honestly, I think you should.
I thought it was just a rumor, really. But if it intensifies, then obviously that's something that we can, have there at the age of 29. That's all right. I'll give him like 3 year deal. That'll be good enough. We need the cover there. So anyone that can, substantial enough to be competent to play there, then we'll be good enough. Good enough to take that. I'm more for it. I need someone to, not take Reece James out of the game, but like James should know as good as James is. Yeah, no one should ever feel that their place is solidified for life, because that's where complacency comes in. That's where no one's going to take my position. So if the manager does wants to lose his job, he will not he will probably not choose me. So I wouldn't want players to have that mindset. So we'll have to advocate that Reece James has a competition, so he too stays on his feet, knowing that you see this position I have, it's not for life. Someone can come and take it away from me. Look at Nathaniel Klein and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Nathaniel Klein was injured. He was a starter for Liverpool, right back. He was just injured. Trent came in, and the rest is history. That's all. You know what I mean? So Reece, I'm not saying that's going to happen to Reece James, but having the competition there for him, it's good. It's good, as well as obviously the other side as well, left back as well. But yeah, I'm happy that we're looking at identifying a second right back or a second right wing back that can be able to push Reece James to the levels. If Reece James doesn't put in a shift for a good month or so, your time on that, you better sit on the bench, bro. Put your bib on and start doing warm-ups, intervals during the game, because someone's going to be playing your position. And that's the reality. And I'm happy for it. I'm ready for it. In fact, I'll be first in line for Topoli to sign somebody to compete with Reece James. Yes. 100%. So it's that guy, 100%. He has my blessing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Louisa, just quickly, I want us to round up with that one, and I'll scroll to the very bottom. Let's start talking about the youth players. Your thoughts on Jonathan Klaus, his numbers and everything. I think it will be an absolute steal if we're able to get him. I don't know. I don't even know why we haven't gotten that one over the line. For 11 assists, 5 goals in 37 games. That's not bad at all. I think I think Reece James's number don't differ that much either. But go ahead.
Yeah, I would really like Klaus to come, and we've seen that it looks like it's actually open to coming. But at the same time, it's a very good competition for Reece James, which is good. And I've forgotten who was talking about it, but the person just talked about Reece also needs competition, even though it's really good. He needs to also know that if he messes it up, there's someone willing to take his place on the pitch, which would make him even better, and it would be better for Chelsea if we should have somebody that is good enough to compete, not just a backup. We don't actually use backup here because we are not getting a player to come and sit on the bench to make numbers.
We want you to come prove that you can start, and if you get the chance, start and do well, and you be the starter until maybe the other person on the bench does better than you, and we rotate, to keep the players' feet and avoid them getting injured and being out for a long while. And look at Reece James's number for 2021 or 2022. He has 5 goals, 9 assists. So Klaus has just 2 more assists than him. So I think Jonathan Klaus will be
apples and orange. There, that comparison is not. You can't compare them.
But at least in terms of let's say output, in terms of goals and assists.
Yeah, but you can't.
You get my point. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've just said that, and then I'm gonna contradict my point. Historically, players coming from the French league tend to do well in the Premier League. I'm not gonna pretend here that I've watched Jonathan Klaus. I'm an expert in his abilities, but if on paper he's one of the top wing back in France, and just going by how he translates from players that move from France to England, I think we can get him. I think we should get him. He's at the right age as well. He's not too young. That if there are times where he need to hold bench, he's not going to be too upset. Obviously, as a professional, he would want to play every game, but it's not like a young, like a young player that's hungry to play every single game, and he's going to keep it. But he's at that age where, yes, he will compete with Reece James, and it seems like he has, again, good output. And as I said, coming from the French league, usually those players do well in England, because the French league is quite physical as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even more. Some of the tackles you see in that league is ridiculous. So I think we have to get him. Todd Boehly, please. We need someone to compete with Reece James more so than the left hand side. On the left,
because there are people already there who you think that is I believe can actually on their day compete with Ventura.
Yeah, I think Emerson. Obviously, you're in a transfer window where you're limited by budget and so on. So I wouldn't want to spend more money to find another left wing back when we already have Emerson. Obviously, Alonso, hopefully, he's going soon. But at least Emerson can be that person on that side. I'm comfortable with going with Emerson, but we need someone because we have no one. Aspie doesn't have the legs to do that job. Even if he stays, if Aspie stays, is to play as a right centre back, not wing back. I think even Aspie himself would probably tell Tuchel, "Come on, I don't have the legs to do the job," because you have to run up and down for 90 minutes. It's impossible.
Yeah, you think he's so nice, he'd say something that make the manager drop him to the bench. Yeah, that's a good one, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to try and catch up with the time. True Blue says a reporter at least still interested. Yeah, that's the one that led us to talk about it. So I'm not going to let any other thing distract us here. I'm going to quickly come back to the panel. Let's start talking about the players we want to talk about. Then, if we have enough time, I'd like us to talk about Eden Hazard. If not, later in the day, we'll talk about him. Right now, we have 105 people watching. And if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support. I cannot thank you guys enough. You guys are absolute legends. And here, I think I've read that one too. Here we have the young actually doesn't want to go to United. Rather, apparently, your source, Just Viola, you're the queen of the house here. If you're telling us such thing, please show us your source. We want to know. I've heard that before, but I didn't want to talk about it because there's no way to confirm if that's the truth. Some people will, back up the argument with the fact that we have Champions League football and they don't have. But you must not forget that Manchester United, they probably will be willing to pay more than we'll be paying the player. Plus his work, he had his best form, you could argue, under Erik ten Hag at Ajax. So those factors are huge. But a Champions League alone is also, you could argue, is huge. But let us know your source. I want to know. Now I got a chance to shame you in public like you usually do to me. My goal now as a fan is to secure Aki and Kimpembe deals. Also, Ziyech is going to get a replacement. We're not even sure if Ziyech is leaving yet, but it's until it happens, we'll see. Give Mount, Reece, and Mendy improved contracts. And if Aspilicueta is going to get a replacement for him, and I think as Aspie, we're hearing he's going to leave, but the club is trying to convince him to stay for obvious reason. The guy is an exemplary professional. He's a leader, and we don't want to. It wouldn't make sense in the same window to lose Antonio Rudiger, lose Cesar Aspilicueta. Basically, you losing the spine of the team from the perspective of leadership, and that's not good. You have to. The transition has to be, a gradual process. It has to be strategic. In some cases, in the case of Antonio Rudiger, I think we were forced, to let him go. It's not like we wanted to let him go, really, but that's an argument for another day. You see people argue it was, the club's fault that he left, but I'd argue otherwise for reasons I will present if we're arguing about that right now. We're not just Chelsea. Read the young amid United refs leave in embarrassment. Really, you read that? Okay, I'd like to see that too. If he did that, then he really doesn't want to go to them. Why not two? It is because of Colwill. Okay, let's see. Hey, say you are so right. Jorginho is not good for us. We must sell him. He's better suited for slow professional football possession football, so to speak. Again, it depends on how you play. I think the incoming and outgoings for the midfield will happen when they come back from the States. That may well be the case because nothing is happening in a rush. I think they have to plan well. You don't want to let somebody go and find out you're not going to get, the preferred replacement, if you want to phrase it that way. So it is. Tobago, can you let us know why you don't want the young at Chelsea? I want to know. Reports are we've inquired about Leao fee between 80 and 90 million, but that's a problem, and we'll get into that in a bit. So let me just scroll to the very bottom, and we will move to all the topics we'll have to take care of here. And then Arthur Love says, good day, Kachila. I believe that we will make a big mistake to sell our youth players. The question I want you to ask yourself is these. The youth players themselves, do they want to stay? Exactly. That's the question. Because if they don't want to stay, you can't force them to stay. They just run down their contract and leave on a free. And Liam, again, I've asked you that before. I hope you're doing well. I hope, please do let us know. Again, that makes us happy. Lee, he was talking about negotiating a new contract the other day, but it's hard to know how serious he is. Who you referring to? I think I just jumped into the middle of a conversation. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Jorginho, for me, I've said that like a million times. It looks for me like he's actually planning to live on a free to get more money, if you ask me. Because he doesn't have to wait too long. And in Italy, even if you're 32, 33, they'd still use you very well. The way they play there, and as a regista, that suits him even better. Even if it's 34, he'll still be having good games in Italy. So I think if you ask me, I'd say he's planning. He's really planning to live on a free. But we'll see what happens. Liam says here, we are yet to find out TT thinking on his midfield going forward, or if he's happy to stick with what we have. There's a chance he's happy with them. But I like reinforcements in that area. Go ahead. Yeah,
Coach, this is why I don't like journalists when they have opportunities to ask managers these type of questions. Like yesterday when Tuchel was asked by Sky, they're asking about striker because obviously they want to run this Ronaldo, Lewandowski agenda. But as fans, we want to know questions like, what's the midfield? What are you doing defense? But I digress.
But here's the thing, even if you ask them that kind of question, they have a very, very beautiful strategic way to give you some response. Yeah, go ahead.
But he said striker is not our priority. Right now, we're looking at defense. So maybe someone could have asked him, so what do you think of midfield? What do you think, something along those lines. Maybe he would give us at least some hints of what they're thinking.
Okay, now I know the interview you're talking about, and if you look at it now, they usually give you answers that are open, to interpretation. And then that response regarding the striker now some journalists are actually spinning it to Chelsea haven't given up on signing Ronaldo.
Okay.
And you watched it, and I'm sure you understood that he didn't say anything regarding Ronaldo. You didn't say about the club signing Ronaldo or not. But that's, by the way, I hear Stribble saying a simple approach to Colwill, tell him 1 year EPL loan, then Thiago's a slot. Again, that you could argue that's another good argument, but here's what, where I knew we were going to find it very difficult to keep Levi Colwill. I think let's just transition into talking about Colwill now. Here's how I knew we were going to have serious problem convincing him when Huddersfield didn't make it to the Premier League. That was when I knew immediately we have a problem at hand, because he's seen, he's shown that he can do it, and there aren't shortage of clubs looking to sign him, even at his age. So I prayed, and I was serious. I prayed that Huddersfield, that they win at that playoffs and then make it to the Premier League. And then he will still be, in that the adrenaline, if you want to phrase it that way, or the rush that he made it to the Premier League with that team. It'd be easy to convince him to say, okay, go play one more season with them, enjoy it with them. He'd take it because he'd be happy they make it to the Premier League. He'd feel like, okay, here's an opportunity to show Chelsea that I can actually do what I did in the Championship, in the Premier League. And they were actually quite unlucky because the referee on that day was awful. Let me say the officials overall were awful. Again, so my point is that was when I knew we're gonna have a problem confusing him. But I think that's True Blue makes a good argument here. If we can find him a Premier League loan, and that's if in fact if at the end of the day he really wants to leave, then that would be fine. But thank you for that, Lee. I hope so, because if he doesn't, we will end up with the same problem as our defense. Yep, that's the truth. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Herbert. Herbert is an AC Milan fan and also a Chelsea fan. Anyone who can give Reece competition is surely a starter in any team. Look at those that compete with him in the England squad. You might as well say, let's sign Trent, but you can't get Trent no matter how you try.
That's go
ahead.
I want to Trippier before he went to
Newcastle. Do you think we can get before he went to Newcastle United? Yep. You're very correct.
In January, when we were looking for fullbacks.
Yeah, I think Trippier could. I think he could have been a good signing for us. That's if he wanted to come to us. We cannot sell Colwill. I'd rather we keep him than buy Kimpembe. Good morning, family. Again, I would rather take a Trent over Reece. Really? Okay,
no,
we'll see that again. That's it. So let's get it to Colwill. Really, the question I want to ask is this: in the first place, would you say he's good enough? Really, and if you're in the chat, let us know if you think Colwill is good enough for the first team. Let us know. And your turn, Rodrigo.
Yeah. So Levi Colwill, please, my guy, if you're watching this, just be sensible here. Thiago Silva is 38. Right, we signed Koulibaly is just early 30s. What's his name? Aspilicueta is going. Alonso's going. The Chelsea defense is in the phase of rebuild. I know you probably think I'm talking to you probably think you've done a lot to prove that you have it. You have what it takes to make it at Chelsea. Yes, we believe that you do because we watched some Huddersfield games. But you've only had 1 year of professional experience. So I beg you, my guy, come back to your senses and stay at Chelsea and just to be in that environment where you're training with these world-class centre-backs will help develop your game. So for you to push for a move to go to another Premier League loan or to force the manager hand so they sell you is not beneficial for your career. You're only 19 years old. You'll have plenty of time to develop here at Chelsea and be part of a team that's looking to win major honours. That experience, you're not going to get it at Southampton, at Everton, at West Ham, or wherever you go. Because those teams, their primary objective is to survive and at times they want to push for European places, but it's not the same as if you stay at Chelsea. So I think here as well, you need to look at your entourage, people that are advising you to leave Chelsea. Are they doing you a favor here? You're 19. It's not like you're gonna break into the England team for the World Cup coming up. No. So you have plenty of time. You can make it to the World Cup in 2024. That's fine. But for now, you need to stay at Chelsea and don't force the manager's hand because everyone knows you're a talented guy. You've shown in that 1 season of professional football that you can play football at a good level. So just stay at Chelsea. Put your head down and work hard. An example would be look at your teammate, Chalobah. Chalobah went on 3 loans. At times, I heard an interview where he was doubting himself. Is he ever going to make it? But with hard work, perseverance, he came back and made it. And he forced the manager's hand to play him in a big game. Chalobah started in FA Cup final, started in the Super Cup final because he forced the manager's hand to play him. Because otherwise, he'd have gone on loan if he was in a rush to leave Chelsea. So Colwill, don't listen to those people advising you, telling you you're wasting your career at Chelsea. You've only just started your career. So just keep calm and stay. And I hope these are just journalists putting two together because we're signing a bunch of centre-back and they want to link him to a move away from Chelsea. So that was my message to Levi Colwill.
But overall, you think he's good enough for the first team, right?
Overall, having said all of this, I think he's good enough. is good enough, but where are we're Chelsea. So there are two. There's two things that we want. Do we want to compete with Man City and Liverpool for the league title, or we're just happy to be in the top four? If we want to compete with Man City and Liverpool, we need to bring in top quality players. Young players who have the chance throughout the season. Is a long season. We play over 50, nearly 60 games at times if we go into all the competitions. So I think it's good enough to play, to come off the bench, to play in cup games, or at times even in the Champions League, maybe in the last group game, where if we've already secure our position. And if he proves that he's good in those games, I don't see why he can't displace someone that plays on the left. You should look at as well like last season, someone like Malang Sarr, who came from a loan, not necessarily the best left-sided defender, but he had a fair chance and he played a lot of games. So that should show him that there is a path here at Chelsea, that if you do perform well, the manager will play you. So don't force the manager hand and like, oh yeah, please, I want to move now because I'm 19. I feel like I'm good enough to start for a Premier League team. No.
Again, let me catch up with the chat again. That's a great advice for him. I hope he's listening. Again, but there's no way to tell what he really wants to do. We have 105 people watching and we have 49 likes. We're almost halfway through targets. Let's get to at least 100 likes. But if you can get 150, fine. But please keep liking the video. And like I've always told you, you don't have to donate your heart and cash to the chart. You being part of the conversation alone, you watching and not even commenting or saying anything, and you sharing the stream with people who you know that being interested with this particular kind of topic, those things do more for the channel. So thank you very much, and God bless you all for all the immense support. Here, Liam Lane says, Ben Jacob says Levi has not asked to, for any move, and is only looking for clarity on his position within the squad. That makes a good sense. Clarity doesn't mean, I think we'll get to it because there are some stuff I have open. I want us to look at them, in order to, to see what makes sense. I'm not saying a sign a trend. My point is of a race. Again, we've moved on beyond the race argument there. Kuchila Link, okay, I'll look at it in a bit, and thank you very much for sharing with me. Colwill will make a great impact in the first team. Trust me, we need him. I trust you because I feel the same too. He's not gonna go until he has to trust. Okay, I get that. As I said again, and by the way, your name is Sushan Katamar. Welcome to the channel, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Again, if you're watching, please do let us know where you're watching from. Triblu says, as I said, prove it or leave a Colwill alone. It's as simple as that again, but we have to talk about it. And then when we look at things, we debunk it. We do say, okay, we don't think this is true. We think this is absolute nonsense. That's what we do here on Chelsea Perspective. Colwill don't want to be a backup. Look at Guehi as an example. He is thriving at Palace. However, we need to put a buyback clause in his deal. That is, in fact, if he wants to leave. But there's no way to confirm that's the truth. We're hearing conflicting stories. The Queen of the House here, Just Viola says, I haven't seen Colwill play, but looking at his stats and what I've read about him, he should stay at Chelsea. Maybe get a few starts in cup games and here and there. I think that would be enough, but it remains to be seen what he wants to do. Matt Law says talks are ongoing for a sporting director, and they hope to have one employed for the January window. Yep, I'll highlight that. And I'd like us to talk about it in a bit. I say give Colwill to Palace with buyback clause and sign Michael Olise. We need to get Olise if Navri extend his stay at Chelsea. Again, this is just you suggesting. And again, we want. I've come to terms to always say I want whoever the manager wants. If we really want him to be backed, that's just the argument we should be making. Also, anything else? Alonso and Aspi is going. They're both leaving. Then he will get his chance. But we're bringing in equal numbers too, or even more than those that are leaving. Again, let me see. Colwill is gone. He's given Tamori vibes. Kimso, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. I hope you're doing well. I am going to lose my temper. Stop dishing it out to Colwill. nobody's abusing him. People are just saying what they're hearing there. They're presenting the nobody is, fighting. Nobody's saying he's a bad person or that. They're just talking about what they see out there. From India, nice to have you here, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Greetings to you. Please leave Colwill alone. We have to watch a true blue blood pressure. Yeah, Lee. I was thinking Lee has a nice comment there. Look what it turned out to be. Again, thank you for 111 people watching, and we have 55 likes. Again, 45 more to get to 100 likes, and then we'll shoot for 150. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. Why are we stressing it about Colwill? He has not left yet the club. Again, good argument. The club has not put him up for sale. Someone just tweeted he might be leaving, and we're all up in arms. Yeah. Again, limitless. I haven't seen you in a while. More importantly, I hope you're doing well, brother. Please do let us know. Yeah, go ahead.
Because Fabrizio said it, people trust Fabrizio more than anyone. So because Fabrizio said there's a possibility, people are just already assuming yes, he's going.
Yeah, I think that's the case. People trust Fabrizio Romano quite a lot. And here, Professor the King says Vinicius Gavi didn't go on loan for Barcelona or Real Madrid. Colwill don't need a loan. He's okay in the squad. Thiago Silva and Koulibaly is here. Again, I think the kids themselves understand that, and we're hearing conflicting arguments. But the fact is, I hope he wants to stay. Like I've argued when people bring it up, that Colwill wants to leave. He has attitude. I said, how do you know? Tell me how you learned about it. Tell me how you come to that conclusions. And nobody did. Advising him to ignore his advices is an acceptable is an acceptance. He wants to leave Fabrizio. Okay, we'll see. Let's see what we have here regarding Colwill. And it starts with this argument here. And this argument actually does make sense. Let me do this so you don't see again. It says, of course, this places Levi Colwill future in renewed doubt, with Nathan Ake also in talks about moving to Chelsea. He's talking about the reports from Standard Sports that say, well, Chelsea turned attention to Presnel Kimpembe as Thomas Tuchel eyes a reunion with PSG defender. Here's the question I want to ask. I'm going to start with you. Tobago, first of all, I want to start with you. Now, we're talking with what's his name, Nathan Ake, and we're going for Kimpembe, and both of them, they're left-sided players. They can play in that left centre back position, and then we already have Colwill available, and he's good enough. He actually played in a Champions League, which is a championship, which is a very tough league, and we've seen people cross over from the Championship to the Premier League, and then fire on all cylinder, be exceptional in fulfilling the position that they play in. So the question I want to ask you is this: why are we going for Ake and Kimpembe? Why not just get one of them? Ake, I'll be fine with. Kimpembe, I'll be fine with. But if you ask me to pick one, I'll let you know my preferred choice. But the question is, why not just get one of them and then pair them up with Colwill, of which I believe will do good enough. And with those names, either Koulibaly, and Koulibaly also is able to fulfill that left-hand position, that is the left centre-back position role. So why are we going with these two players again? So why not get just one of them, leave Colwill at the club to learn from, Thiago Silva, also Koulibaly, also maybe Kimpembe if you're bringing him, or Ake, he can learn from them because he's younger. So I want to get your thoughts.
Okay, your question is like, why are we going for both Ake and Kimpembe? And then it just
both players, and both of them play on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And also we have Koulibaly. I believe we'll get that one across the line. Who also can fulfill that LCB role. So why it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'll give you my opinion on that. For example.
Yeah, and you're making a mistake. Please start afresh.
To be honest.
There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, to be honest. Okay, to be honest. First of all, Levi Colwill is a young kid. Is just breakthrough, from academy, and then he had a successful loan at Huddersfield Town. So I think, according to my knowledge or my own opinion, I believe we should just give the kid a 1-year loan in the Premier League so that he can gain experience in the Premier League. And again, for example,
what are you, Tobago? I wish even if we're on your channel right now, I'd still fight you. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Experience?
Okay. So do you, for example, if next season we're going to play 3 back in the system, and then do you think Colwill should start in every game on the left-hand side?
Sorry, what did you say again?
If next season are going to remain playing back four system, do you think Colwill should play always in the left-hand side?
He can fulfill that role as long as he's on the left-hand side. He can play as a left back.
Oh, man. No.
Yeah, he can.
No. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He's playing that at the Huddersfield Town, but again, he's still young. You need to learn. So again, I'm not gonna judge him through this report saying he wants to leave, blah blah blah, or he might stay. My own opinion. If you're going to deal with this issue, I will just we rather keep him just to learn if he wants to learn. But again, if you're going to keep Levi Colwill and then we have both Aki and Kimpembe coming, and we still have a Malansa there, it's not gonna work. So all I'm saying, from my own personal opinion, I will say, get Tuchel what he wants, Kimpembe, Aki, and Aki can play several positions, and then give Levi Colwill 1 season loan in the Premier League, and then remember Thiago Silva is still aging, and maybe next season Colwill will get his chance in the first team. So that's my argument.
If you're talking about, if your hope of giving him a chance at the team depends on Thiago Silva as he's aging, I don't think it won't work because Thiago Silva plays centrally.
Yes, I know he's playing centrally, but again, like he's going to have a space for him next season.
Okay, so, I get you. I get your argument. I knew the moment you wanted to come and you coming for a fight, but you're not going to win this one. And I'll come back to you in a bit. And to be honest, again, I like it. Again, whenever you come again, make sure you start your argument with, to be honest, I'm going to ask you for your ID or just send you out. I'm just kidding, bro. You know I love you. But you wanted to say something as Tobago. You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm saying you want to say something else. Should I go ahead with the chart? I'll come back to the panel in a bit. And by the way, guys, if you're watching, please be sure to go check out Tobago's YouTube channel. It is called the Coolest at Chelsea. I think you need to go check it out, and I'm serious about it. You will like it. I think I was there during the lunch. I think it was who again? Sorry, this guy was there. The Cloud was there. I think Nick Blue was there. And again, you need to go check it out. Let's help him grow. Again, thank you very much, Tobago. You should put the name of your channel as your name here. Did you put it? There's something I need to take care of because if I take up this, here's what shows. I have to fix it in a bit. But that's, by the way, advising him to ignore his advice is an acceptance. He wants to leave. Again, that's the truth. UCL. Let's see, putting into question is not the same as asking to go. Yep, that's the truth. Colwill is average. Again, that's your argument. You have every right to argue that. It is called having depth. Having depth is the truth. You want to have depth, but you want to force a player who doesn't want to stay because you want to have a depth. And you want to keep a player for, like Colwill, who still needs to develop. I'm not saying he wants to leave. If he wants to leave and you decide to force him to stay, then it is for your own selfish reasons. You're scuppering his development. If you can promise him at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes here and there, and to start cup games, then you're not guaranteeing his continued development as a young player. But that's, by the way, here it says we are going for 3 because we are staying with 3 at the back, and we will not be keeping Ampadu. again, you just know things that are gonna make me mad, and you keep saying them. Colwill, Ampadu, Gilmour is a bunch of average players. Are you trolling, or are you just being expressing your opinion there? I want to know. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yes, right now we have 61 likes, which means we need 39 more likes to get to 100 likes, and I know we can get there as soon as possible. I'm just going to skip to the very bottom and come to the panel to hear what they have to see. It kind of says Ake signing blocks a Colwill. Yep, it does. That's how I see it, a path into the first team. We wanted the club to go back Tuchel. And if this is the decision, then I am okay with it. Just get a buyback clause in it. Yeah, we could do that, but I want him to stay anyway. Broja going to stay because management is not going to sign up for. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit. We're taking the players one by one. I'm going to come back to the panel. IBZ, I haven't gotten your thoughts on Levi Colwill. Do you think he's good enough? And by the way, you okay? Which means I think your argument shows you don't think it's good enough. I'm talking about you, Tobago.
Yes.
Okay, just to be clear, so I'm going to come to you, IBZ. Do you think Levi Colwill is good enough, to be part of the first team? If yes, where does he fit? And how do you think Thomas Tuchel accommodates him?
First of all, the talk of him leaving. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
The talk of him leaving, or him demanding first team football, is absurd. I believe that report was inaccurate. It was trying to cause some sort of reaction. Levi Colwill is not yet good enough for our first team. Let's call a spade a spade. Yes, we have good academy players who are coming through, but Levi Colwill is not good enough yet for the first team football. So what does that mean? The option is to either integrate him with the first team football so he can learn off the likes of the players that we have there, and then obviously next season he has a clear pathway in, and or leave on loan, and knowing that it will be a Premier League club he'll go to and he'll get the experience, and then he'll come back next year ready for first team football like Conor Gallagher. Obviously that's different because obviously we don't know yet if he's going to go. What I've heard is that he doesn't want to leave permanently. He's not demanding first team football. He wants to play when he has the opportunity to come into play. And it just eradicates the narrative that even what we were saying yesterday about players looking at another man's wage and demanding. These players, we think that these players really control the destiny of the football club or destiny of where Thomas Tuchel is going to play. No, that's not how it is. There's rankings to this system. Levi Colwill would not see the arrival of Koulibaly, Nathan Ake, and say that he has more to offer than Nathan Ake. Who in B? He has more to offer than Thiago Silva. Who in B? He has more to offer than Koulibaly. Who in B? You're gonna have to learn your trade, boy, and that's the blunt reality of it. Is he good prospect? Yes, 100%. Is he highly rated? 100%. But you're gonna have to do the due diligence like all your other predecessors. Reece James, Mason Mount, obviously Callum didn't go out on loan, but it's not easy just to get into the first team. And obviously you've had a great season with Huddersfield last year. That don't equate to you jumping into the first team with Chelsea Football Club. You're gonna have to learn your trade. So obviously, what I would like to see is him not go out on loan, him not be sold, him around the first team because he's still under 21. He can still be registered under 23, so he doesn't really need to necessarily be registered in the Premier League. He can just be in and out. He doesn't really need to be registered for Champions League because of his homegrown status quota. So he ain't really got any problems, if you're honest with you, other than I want to leave now for first team football, which is obviously understandable, bro. That's normal. Young kids are more ambitious, especially when they see their age mates doing well, when you see the likes of 21-year-olds killing different leagues. You're a 21-year-old, you think, I'm not an idiot. So yeah, I understand your ambition, but for a clear pathway, and if you want to do it properly to the first team, Levi Colwill will not be the first team guy. He may not even be rotational, but he will come on. He will come on like, maybe Carling Cup, the odd FA Cup there, maybe dying members of the 9 minutes, you bring him on for fresh legs. That's his role, and that's what you will need to understand. You can't just start demanding first team football because you had a brilliant season with Huddersfield. Don't work like that. So hopefully he stays. Hopefully he stays. He learns his trade well, and then we can see him, develop properly. Because I believe he's got good quality. I believe he's got good potential. But if the reports are true, saying he's demanding first team football, and if he doesn't get it, he's out, then see you later, mate. Go then. But I doubt that's where his mind's at. That's too much of a, um, I'll call it a selfish thing to do. I don't see the player having that mindset, and especially people will be telling him in the squad, like, "What are you doing, bro?" Like, if I was in the squad and I'm hearing it, I'm like, "Levi, what are you saying? What? You just want to leave because of what? Like, you haven't even allowed yourself to give yourself you haven't given yourself a chance to fight for your place. So you say you want to leave already. So I don't really buy that, but we'll see what happens. But I believe he'll be staying. I don't believe he'll be going out on transfers or loan.
Yeah, and I've noticed as well is the one that don't like Tuchel. They're using this as an opportunity to bash Tuchel.
Oh, wow, they're killing him already.
Yeah, there's a section of our fan base that
Yeah.
don't at all. They want him out. Yeah, for some reason, and it as an opportunity because you hear things like, oh, it doesn't integrate the youth, or there's no path for our youngsters, or the football is not good enough. So he's just one of them things they're just using it now to just
Yeah. When I saw the reports, I was saying, oh, this was late last night as well, around 9, 10, 11. I was like, oh, we never learn. Levi Colwill, we selling him. We're just did a Todd Bowley this time. Like, hang on. Number one, who told you that Levi Colwill has gone to Thomas Tuchel's office and sat him and say, "Yo, boss, I want to leave now if you don't give me fair." Who told you that? What you?
One thing that comes. Sorry, go ahead. You were still talking. I apologize.
No, it's all right, my brother. Well, I was just gonna say that people think that. What do you think is a Danny Rose situation where Danny Rose locked Mourinho in the office and told Mourinho, "Yo, I want to play. If you don't play me, I'm out." No. Levi Colwill hasn't got the bollocks to do that. He hasn't got the cojones to go to look in Thomas Tuchel's face and say, "Yo, don't play me, I'm gone." No way. They bond him well. They don't bond him Papa well. You know what I'm trying to say to you? It's levels, and he would know his level. That I have the opportunity to make my way into the first team, but there's a way and there's rankings to it. I'll need to work hard in training. I'll need to put in a shift when I'm called upon, and my opportunity will come. That's it. All this report, he's told Chelsea. Who is he? Who is he?
So now I want to get this from you. How do you think? I think you said it's not good enough, so there's no point asking you how you think Thomas Tuchel would accommodate him or make space for him in the team.
And Thomas Tuchel will accommodate him as he sees if he deserves to be accommodated. So what I'll see Thomas Tuchel objectively, Thomas Tuchel will play 3 or 4 at the back. There was a comment that you just mentioned earlier that said that because he's going to do this, that means he's going to play 3 at the back. Who told you that he's going to play 3 at the back? Who gave you the inkling that he's going to give you 3 at the back? That he's going to play a hybrid. He might play 4 at the back, he might play 3 at the back. We do not know, but what we do know is that our manager chops and changes. He's a very good tinkerer. He can change formations within the game. So we never know for certain it's a 3 or a 4. What I do know, Levi Cole will have his pathway properly. We won't be doing straight into the first team. We got Koulibaly, we got Thiago Silva, we got Malang Sarr, and we may have Presnel Kimpembe. Those players will need to be at the forefront before Levi Colwill can have a look in. Yes, there's rotation. Yes, the amount of fixtures that is going to be played from now to the World Cup is going to be very, very much, because we're talking about Premier League, Carling Cup, Premier League, Carling Cup, Champions League. Every 3 days there may be football. So the schedule may be very, very tight, in which, yes, Levi Colwill may get your chance. There's 5 substitutes this year. Calm down, Levi. You will get your chance, my guy. You will play. All this talk that Thomas Tuchel don't believe in you, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Who has he signed that was saying, oh, he doesn't trust you? Who has he signed? Is it not just yesterday we saw the first signing in a long time? We could argue that Lukaku wasn't his signing. So who has he signed? Is it Saul that he brought on loan? Is that his signing? Let's stop the narrative. There's a lot of fickle Chelsea fans that are very fickle and very quick to judge, like Thomas Tuchel out, or that is very, very toxic. And this man will be our success. And when we'll see the narrative after. So with Levi Colwill, I see it being a normal pathway as any youngster. You're going to learn your trade. He will play Carling Cup. He will, those Carling Cup games now. You will play the first round, all those games. You play FA Cup. Maybe we'll play Morecambe or something. Yeah, I expect Levi Colwill to start. I expect Kepa to start as a backup. You know, I expect maybe Joseph Vale, and what's that other left back? Is it Harvey Vale and Joseph Bell?
Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall. I expect these men to play. He's not the only one. So it's all about time and progression. I think what we as fans are looking at as, oh, he's not in the squad, he ain't gonna play. No, there's a lot of games from now till May, or from August till May. There's a lot of games, and players will play. So we have no worries. I don't think he will leave. I don't think so.
we have, again, I hope he has that patience, and like we're learning, he has that patience. Let me catch up with the chat and we'll continue. I have something on the screen that help us understand the situation very well, and thank you for that great input. I don't know if you want to add anything to Tat or Rodrigo, or you're good. All right, it looks like Rodrigo is good. Here, Chelsea all the way says Tomori, Lanti, Guehi, Livramento weren't good enough, unbelievable. Nope, I didn't think I get that, and I think they were all good enough. But I think these guys you mentioned, I think except for Tomori, I think the other ones from Guehi to Livramento all wanted to leave, and you can't force them to stay. Like I've always argued here, if you force them to do so, they'd run down their contract and leave. And I don't know which of them. I don't know if we'll have a buyback clause in all their contracts. I'm not sure which. Lamptey, we practically begged him to stay. Lampard had to even start him in a game that he shouldn't. Sorry? Yeah. So Lampard I had to actually start him in a game I didn't think he was supposed to start again, just to make him happy. And yet he insisted that he wanted to leave the club, and we had to let him leave. It's just, before you start judging the manager or the club, try to do your research and find out what the player in question wanted to do, because it's not all about what the club wants. In most cases, the club do consider what the players want, of which they should, or they're bound to lose, to take a huge L. You have to be on the 21 to be on the B list. Okay, thank you for that information right there. Bobby Fabius says it is well documented that Todd backed TT in this window, otherwise known as giving him enough rope to hang himself. You think he will put a 19-year-old in the back line? I wouldn't. Again, you could argue that. We're not saying to bring him for him to start, but again, here's where what I'd argue here. If you have Colwill, you have Silva, and you have Colwill, you have Silva, who again, if you have Colwill, you have Silva, and you have Koulibaly, I think, with what's his name, Colwill, I think they'd be fine. I think the kid will be fine with those two available. I don't think he'll put the foot wrong. Again, that's my argument. You have to remember that the academy boys who were sold last year was to make the cash for Lukaku. We made over 17 million from the sales again, but really they wanted to leave. We didn't just sell them. In the case of Livramento, you had Thomas Tuchel during interviews when he said that the club wanted to keep him, but he wanted to leave. Okay, I might be wrong, but the money Marina generated was over 100 million. I think it's around that number or a little less, but I'm not sure. Ali, you are spotting. He says, I cannot believe we might allow him to leave. I watched him in championship players. Kimpembe to Chelsea might happen. It's looking likely like that one is going to happen. Again, anything Bobby says, Chelsea fans want us to compete for the trophies, but be a trainee club at the same time cannot, have it, but you cannot keep your eat your cake and have it. That's a good argument. But here's the truth. I think we have to accommodate the youth. I'm not arguing for the whole 11 to be the youth. We have to have a mix of experience and youth, especially the academy boys. That helps their development. Again, I hope you get my argument. You wanted to say something, Rodrigo?
No, I just agree with what the guy said. Are we a club that want to win trophies, or are we Dortmund? If we're a club that are serious about winning trophies, then the youth will get a chance, but the chance will come in games like the early round in FA Cup, early round in League Cups, and now with the 5 stars, maybe the last the last minute when you want to close down or you want to inject some energy in the team. They can't. These youth players can't be. They can't be the first name on a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. No.
They were told. You see, when we were kids, when we were kids trying to get into the game of football, the academy coaches told us the harsh reality. Out of everyone that's standing here, not all of you are going to make it, and that's just the reality of life. Same in the academy. Out of all of those academy boys, not everybody's going to make it to first team, yo.
Exactly.
It's not a given. You take your opportunity when it comes and you work hard in it.
Yeah.
You don't care. If you're highly rated, you're highly rated. But at the end of the day, it's all down to hard work. Not everyone in that academy is going to make it into
and I would
the
say,
first team, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We want it to happen because we have the quality, but unfortunately, that's not life. You know what I mean? If it was that easy, then Man United will have all their academies gone through. Do you know how many academy products Manchester United have? Do you know how many academy products Man City have? Do you know how many we have? Arsenal. It's not given. So it's people need to. Oh, we have academy and we're not giving our academy a job. Not sorry, we're trying to compete with Man City and Liverpool, and a 19-year-old Colwill is not going to stop Haaland from scoring a hat-trick against us. I'm so sorry. So we have to wake up and smell the coffee that's brewing in the kitchen and drink some and know the reality. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it is. I understand your arguments, but I still argue otherwise. But that's me again. Thank you very much. I think I've seen it. And again, it says having to pop out. We'll be listening, but not reading the chat. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you listening even when you're not here. Fraser HK said Chelsea don't help themselves when it comes to retaining youth gems. Hopefully, the new ownership changes that. Again, I don't know how many times I'm going to argue that. Again, most of us, I think, you could argue, have refused to pay attention to the fact that, for instance, the case of Livramento, he wanted to leave.
Yeah.
He wanted to leave, and he said it. Look at it here. Let me say this. Tuchel said that the club tried everything to keep Livramento, and that's the truth. I don't think he's lying. And we're hearing that Livramento himself, I think he wants to come back to Chelsea. I'm trying to find something. I think he made sure something like to be sure that the buyback clause is cheap because Chelsea is where he wants to be or something like that. But he's concerned about his development. It's not about most of these kids, them leaving Chelsea isn't actually about them being greedy. They care about their development because the truth remains, if we keep a young player in the 19, even 18, 19, 20, in some cases 17, them staying with us will scupper their development to some measure, if you ask me. But there's an advantage to that. You play with the team, you get to understand how the manager wants the team to play. So you have a better chance of making it into the team,
and you're in the
manager's mind.
You're in the manager's mind. And you are in the manager's mind. The manager sees
Exactly. Which brings to mind why I've always argued that Billy Gilmour shouldn't have left on loan, but there are so many factors when you think about it. You blame Thomas Tuchel to a certain extent. He wanted the kid to leave alone and go to where his friend was the coach of the team, and all those things we've heard. But that's, by the way, right now we have 114 people watching, and we'll have 71 likes, so we need 29 more. Just like my brother here, Tomori, and also the owner of the Coolest Chat said, please 29 more likes to get to 100. Let's shoot for at least 150. Again, I appreciate all your support. And there's an update here that I wanted to share with us. It is, we've always argued here that I don't know if you're with me. I'm talking to the panic bus driver, Rodrigo. I know you probably have dropped the key by now. We argued that it wouldn't make sense to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, that it costs more problems than bring solutions to the club. And here's an update that I got from Just Viola. Here it says Chelsea will not be signing Cristiano Ronaldo after talks between the manager, Thomas Tuchel, and co-owner, Todd Boehly. And now that makes sense. They probably, deliberated, and he made it clear because I know, Rodrigo, I know you're with me on this one. Yes. I know the argument you made on how the numbers of those players he gets to play in his subsequent clubs after Real Madrid, how their numbers went down and his went up. And at Manchester United, he scored 10 billion goals and they still did not make it into the top four. Your thoughts on this news we're looking at on the screen? Honestly, that makes me happy.
Just to interject what you said there, Coach. Yeah, in all respect to Ronaldo, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, he scored all those goals. I don't think it was down. Like if he scored all those goals, yeah, and their defense was on point, we'll see a different United. But obviously, I think, just to answer that, it was based down to that defense, and their defense.
How about the argument that they could have scored even more if it wasn't all about him being the only person scoring the goals?
Exactly.
Yeah. Because it's essentially if they scored more goals, they'd have scored some of their opponents and still win those games.
And IBZ, what they had the same defense the season before.
No,
right?
they didn't. No, they didn't.
They added Varane.
No, they didn't change much. They didn't change much defensively.
No, they had Varane. Varane came in to replace him.
Yeah, you could argue he made it worse for them, but again, they had. Here's the thing. Again,
Maguire fell off completely.
But because they had to change the way they play to accommodate Ronaldo, innit?
I don't think that was a rule. I don't think that was always a problem. I don't think that was a problem. I think that's a little, but that's another argument. I don't think that was a problem. Obviously, what I believe here, I just believe here that reason why managers are running away from Ronaldo now is because they're fearing that they can't manage this man. They're fearing that they can't control this brother.
That may well be the case. That may well be the case. Did you see that on the Solskjaer, Ole?
Yeah,
that he'd be a passenger on the feet, on the pitch. You'd see that he needs a pillow and a foam to basically just lie down and sleep, and he will still not bring him out.
No, there's a game. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a game where he took him off in like the 70th minute or something like that, and Ronaldo was throwing a tantrum. Like, and then there's a game where he wanted to. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's a professional guy. He's an unbelievable. He's reached an unbelievable level in football, but come on.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that moans when things don't go his way. I don't like those type of guys on the football.
And then find others, and then blame others.
Yeah. Him and Bruno Fernandes are like that, so I can understand if him and Bruno Fernandes are doing that in the dressing room. Imagine how that will rub off on the rest of the squad. I can imagine. But yeah, I mean. Mentorship. Him mentoring the younger players is another argument altogether. But I think with his salary, with his personality, with his ego, of which we all know he has, even Declared, who argues we should, my bro Declared, who argued we should bring him in, would argue about how important he will be to the team for the younger players and still talk about his ego. Here's the thing. Yeah, go ahead. We're saying it now. But let's just take a step back and just take a breather. We have the chance to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Hey, and we're just we don't need him. So what if he bangs now?
You just sound like, let me tell you this. I love you, bro, but you just sound like what you care about is the name, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh my God. No,
I would take Ronaldo 5 years ago.
No, I know. But even for the 2 years or the year we sign it, he will do better.
But you're not taking into consideration like this guy would demand to play 38 league games, would demand to play every game in the Champions League.
I think let's just move on from that update. And I want to say thank you.
I understand.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Just Viola for that update. We'll move on from it and come back to the youth that we're talking about. We'll get down with the aspect of Levi Colwill, and we'll talk about Armando Borja. Livramento buyback is 35 million in 2023. That's not bad. That's a good business we did. And I heard he was the one that made sure it wasn't too high. That's because he wanted to come back to the club. Just him proving that all he needs is just game time to develop. And when he's ready, he comes back and walks into the team. But that's and join the team, so to speak. That's, by the way, Billy Gilmour and his father wanted Billy to go on loan, so it's not Toko. Okay, I want to get you his father's phone number since you're able to speak with his father. The youth will be, we get experience on loan. The Chelsea first team is not the place. Todd is there for the trophies, and TT is right to stay focused. The question I want to ask you this is, Bobby, I respect you and I love you. Are you arguing, the way you're sounding, it sounds as if you're not advocating for us to have even one academy player or youth player in the team. You let me know if that's the case. But if that's not the case, you correct me. I really want to know. But that's how I interpret your argument so far about the youth. And here, Chelsea the Kingslayer says, I don't see Livramento and Latte ever beaten Aldrich James. RB, or wanting to be his backup. Again, we'll see what happens. Again, that's just what you think. But we'll see what happens in a year or two. Big up at TyTalks. Again, did I miss Ty? Hey, Ty, how you doing, brother? Big up to you too. I hope you're doing it well. If you haven't, please go check out TyTalks YouTube channel and make sure to subscribe. Do the same for the Coolest Charles, which is the YouTube channel of Tobago. And you guys can actually share the links to your channels, no problem there. And you both have mods, so you can share links there. So whoever that hasn't subscribed to your channel will go and do so. So Bobby, you I know you heard the question I have for you. And right now we have 81 likes, but we'll have 121 people watching. Again, 19 more to get to 100, and then we'll shoot for 150 from there. So thank you for the immense support. I cannot thank you guys enough. This is the same Ronaldo story. I'm just going to read it and we'll move on from it. Thomas Tuchel has decided against Cristiano Ronaldo signing. As things stand, Jorge Mendes had talks with Todd Boehly, but final decision has always been up to the manager. Chelsea are now focused on different deals. Tuchel isn't keen on signing Cristiano Ronaldo. And again, Southampton are also in the race to sign Levi Colwill. That's to show you how conflicting everything we have had. And I think some of us in the chat have already talked about how this what's his name? The tweet from Fabrizio Romano may well be absolute nonsense, and there's a chance that's the case.
Just look at how he's done it. Just look at the tweet. He's basically he's basically done two. He's put it two together. Look at that. Colwill's future will depend on AC Kimpembe deals. He could leave Boehly if Boehly sign. Yeah, I could come up with that. That's what I said. I'm gonna start tweeting.
I told you, start tweeting about transfers, and you're wasting that. You should have like 5,000 followers now on Twitter if you have listened to me. And I'm serious. Yeah, again, pay attention to whatever you read. And Rodrigo just dissected this tweet for us. He says Southampton are also in the race to sign Levi Colwill. He started it this way. As many clubs are showing interest, waiting to negotiate with Chelsea. You see that part? Waiting to negotiate with Chelsea. And if you look at some people, their tweets are saying that already, I think they're saying, for instance, I think I forgot the club they mentioned that are already in talks with Chelsea. But here he says, Colwill's future, why not start it with this sentence here? You made a good point there, Rodrigo. Yeah. Colwill's future depends on Chelsea signing Aki or Kimpembe deals. He could leave if Boehly was signing 3 centre-backs. But there's no telling whether that will happen at this point. So again, I think I get it. I get your disappointment there. And then we have this one here from the CSI Dan Talk. Chelsea says, Colwill does not want to leave Chelsea. And this is more believable. Not demanding to be an instant starter, but does not want a fair shot, but does want, a fair shot assurance of game time. He's not even asking to start too many games. Just give a fair share, which would be 20 minutes, 25 minutes here and there, and then starting at least. I think he should be capable of starting all the cup games. Situation depends on centre back arrivals. Chelsea know his quality. A buyback would be sorted if sold. You wanted to say something, Rodrigo?
Yeah, you said he can start all the cup games. I said but apart from the final. And maybe
that's usually the case. Maybe from actually semifinals, or it depends. The teams will meet in the quarterfinals. I think things change from that levels on. But I think it's good enough to play most of them.
Yeah,
you get my point. But that's, by the way, again. Let's move and see if there's anything else about him. If not, we will move. Okay, this is just an update. Khalid Koulibaly is due to join the Chelsea squad on the preseason tour in America in the next 24 hours. That's good to see. It looks like that one is going to cross the line very soon. I think we don't have anything with that. I want us to look at this comment in the beat, but not right now. So let's talk about Armando Borja, Rodrigo, let me start with you. Your thoughts? It's looking like West Ham are serious, and in this case, it sounded like we've already started talking with clubs. I'm not sure how truthful that is, but your thoughts? Do you think it's good enough for the first team? Do you think the manager should accommodate him? If yes, how?
I think Broja will stay, and I think Chelsea will not sign a striker. I think Broja would be. Yeah, I think Broja is the alternative to Kai Havertz. I can't see him leave this summer. I think what's going to happen is Sterling's going to play on the left, him and competing with Pulisic for the left hand side. In the middle, depending on games, it will be either Havertz, Werner, or Broja, and then on the right, obviously Mount, Ziyech if he stays, and Callum. I don't know. Callum can
Why
play
are
on the
we saying Mount on the right?
Well, that's I'm looking at the back three formation that we play. Yeah, but usually,
Okay.
yeah, it's because of that formation. Usually, when man plays, he always drop in midfield, and that means we have to play with two strikers sometimes. But Broja would definitely I can say I'm 90% sure. I'll even go as high as 95% sure that Broja will be at Chelsea next season.
You're really taking a risk. 93%.
Yeah.
Why do you think he stayed back when others left?
The only time Chelsea sign a striker is Lewandowski. We will not sign a striker just like just any. We're not going to target the striker and negotiate blah blah blah. No, we will only sign when there's an opportunity to sign Lewandowski. That's what I think. I think too. Again, reading that Tuchel interview. See, if it's true that he's ruled out Ronaldo, I think the best one is I think he's always admired Lewandowski from his interviews at least. So I think like if Barca can't come up with the money, and Lewandowski is hell bent to leave Bayern, and we have a chance to do a deal there, an opportunistic one like the one we tried with Rafinha, I think that's the one. But otherwise, we're not gonna sign. We're not gonna go into the market and start negotiating for a striker. There's no way. So that's why I believe Broja will stay at Chelsea, and he will have again with him. He'll probably have depending on how Havertz plays. If Havertz hit the ground running, if he really take that position. Otherwise, I can see Broja starting quite a few games, more so than Colwill. But he will start Chelsea.
Yeah, again, and thank you very much for that. I'm gonna, just quickly end this poll because I want to add another one, and I'll ask, catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel with two IBZ to let us know whether he thinks Broja is ready. Here, the poll that asks, do you think Levi Colwill is good enough? 75% says yes, only 25% says no. And if you ask me to guess the 25% that said no, I think I would try, but I don't want to go into that right now. So thank you again. Thank you for 84 likes. Well, we still have 15 people watching, so we need just 16 more likes to get to 100 likes. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate that. And again, right now you could argue we're more than a quarter into getting to 5,000 subscribers. Now, right now we're at 4,270. Yeah, we're beyond a quarter into 5,000. That's 5,000 subscribers. So thank you again. I cannot thank you guys enough. And I've read this one. Tico is all about building a good team, not individuals. So no more links again. Yeah, again. Tell us how. Again, he's asking somebody here. I will DM you his number. Yeah, please do. Since you talked with him, Colwill shouldn't leave. He will stay and learn from Koulibaly. I think we're done talking with Colwill, so I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. And nice here to see my brother Matt. And here says that we don't need Aki. We already have Colwill. I wish the club see it like that, and the manager too. And here my brother Matt says, saying hello to Just Viola, the queen of the house. Matt, nice to see you. Again, I've sent you the link like you requested in case you still have time to join us. And I appreciate you finding time to join us. If you haven't, please go and check out Matt's YouTube channel. He's become a brother over time. Again, be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you, Matt. Feel free to share the link to your channel in the link And again, and let people know that's the link of your channel. Coachella, your mods are timing up people out for no reasons, mate. Yeah, again, I've seen. Let me know what's happening here. I've seen mods. I've seen people who are blocked entirely because I don't know why. Because of something I don't know, but I'm not sure why. But we'll find out. I find a solution to that. I thought somebody, Adam, complained to me he was blocked from the channel for expressing himself. I don't know he didn't insult anybody because I read most of his comments that day, and that's not okay. But I'll find a solution to that. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. Ronaldo got a huge offer from Saudi Arabia, and he didn't want it. Again, maybe he still wants one more Ballon d'Or. Because he's not going to win it from there. Nathan Aki's Aki fee has now been agreed with Chelsea, according to reports. I think he will eventually come to the Chelsea Football Club. Broja is very good. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very, very bottom so that I don't mix up the current topic that we're talking about right now. And sorry if I missed any of your comments. Let me see this. Levermanto was beat out by Walker Peters even before his knee injury. He was still developing at age 18 and 19. So it's not really arguing against youth. We've seen this before with Mourinho. He's also got blamed for not bringing on youth. It's the nature of giving the coach the direction, the discretion. They will not take the risk. Again, I get your point, but it depends on what if they both can agree. And I do believe in the future maybe Todd Boehly will also give the youth a chance because he will save the club quite a lot of money. Lewandowski is afraid of getting roughed up in the Premier League. I think Triblu have also said that he's right, given the stage of his career. And again, there are other factors also to consider. Let me see what else do I have here. I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom. If Barca deal does not happen, Lewandowski prefers Chelsea. Yeah, second choice. And then he comes to us. I can see Broja and Colwill as well as a few others being sold to pay for Rice, similar to Lukaku last season. We'll see. Big up, Blues. Big up to my brother, Mikhail. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Right now, we have 87 likes, just 10 more to hit 100, and we shoot for 150 again. I like to say this as always. I'd rather you like the videos than subscribe to the channel because the more you like the video, the more we'll be able to reach more people. So coming back to the panel, IBZ, I don't know, have you spoken about Broja and whether you think it's good enough, and whether you think how you think the manager will be able to accommodate him if he stays?
Broja needs to stay.
So in other words, you think it's good enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, good enough. Good enough is not what I'm saying, but he's good enough to learn his trade and develop under the first team. Yes, based off his last season experience, if we're going to let him go, we need to sell him, buyback clause or what have you. But we can't sell him. We can't sell two academy strikers in a space of 2 years. Abraham and Broja, then it will say what we are much as a club. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think we are going to keep him. I would like to see him. Even if we do sign another striker, we still keep him. Even if we don't sign another striker, we still keep him. I believe he's someone that will be very good for us. But it'll be up to us to develop him correctly. Thomas Tuchel may play him as the sole number 9. He might be behind Timo Werner. I don't think Kai Havertz will be the number 1, number 9. I think it will either be Broja or Timo Werner, depending on if we do not get a striker. Which, if the reports of Ronaldo is said to be true, which I saw earlier on before you mentioned it, I will know that, yeah, we're not getting another striker. And if that's the case, Broja will be good enough to hold down the role with and/or Timo Werner, which is I think is good enough. We have a 26, 27-year-old, and then we have a 20, 21-year-old. So it's a good mix of both young and old experience, So I believe I'm quite excited to see how Broja goes. I'm quite excited.
Hmm.
I advocated for a young striker named Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's just my personal. I like the kid, but Broja looks like he's in the same mode and he could do better. So I'm excited for the striking options we have this year in Broja, and yeah, all the best, all the best. When I saw him leave the elevator with Sterling yesterday, I said, yeah, those my boys. They went to plane together. They fly from England to, so they must have been chatting a whole lot of chatting on that plane because that's not it's not a small flight from London to America. It's not a small flight, so it's a long flight. So they must have been talking, looking for. So I'm quite excited. So yeah, brought her to stay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Matt. Matt, how are you doing, brother?
Yes, man. Big up, big up. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, doing good. What topic we on?
Yeah. But before we get to the topic we're on, let us know how you feel now. You confident now, or you still on the panic, boss?
I said back here. I said on the 16th of June. I said if we're 16th of July, and we haven't made a signing. I'm gonna be worried. But we're 2 days out till then. But we've made a signing. We're getting another one, and we're likely to get a third. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
it's
panicking at
kind
the
of worked on
moment.
your timeline.
Yeah, no, it's just worked. It just found the slot, so it's not the worst situation. I'm not upset at the moment. It's good we're making songs. I'm just very very excited, man. Like I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, players like Koulibaly and players like Sterling in the team. So yeah, I'm all happy.
Yeah, well, good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna bring you again up to par now. Just real quickly, let me ask a question and catch up with the chat. Again, we have 80 some people watching, and we have 89 likes. We need 11 more to get to 100. Levi Colwill, Broja, and Nathan, Itan Ampadu. These are players. Okay, I'm a bit lost there. Even Sir Alex went out and bought a stole veteran Eric Cantona to help with those titles with his new kids. Again, that's a very good argument. Back, Lee says he's back. Nice to see you back. Tuku doesn't believe in youth like Mourinho. Again, but letting go players like Cole Broja is criminal. I get your
How do you know he
argument,
don't
but
believe in
please,
youth?
before you come to
Who says
that
that?
conclusion, find out whether indeed he's letting them go. They're still with us, and find out whether
Ask
the
him. Ask
player
him to
is
find out. Ask him to find out if he doesn't believe in youth. When does he tell you he don't believe in youth? When do you see
exactly.
him?
And
Go
yeah,
back.
and
Go
when
back to
yeah,
his
and
track
when
record.
when did you hear that? How did you get to
Nonsense
that
narrative.
conclusion? So we have to be careful how we jump to conclusions and start blaming the manager for something probably he didn't plan on doing. Again, I've read that one here. Let me see how quickly I can catch up with the chat. I nearly had to pull the car over a few times in case I needed to call an ambulance for troop. Can you be careful, please? How you say that? Again, that's by the way, but I get the joke. Mourinho gave ROC a Morata and a Real debut. So that's a good point there. I would love a Broja to stay at Chelsea. Koulibaly again. Money on current the speaker swearing. Oh, okay. Yeah, we should watch our language. I think we all know that, but every now and then it slips off. Another 5 p.m. UK time announcement. I hope that happens. Again, I want to see that happen. Broja wants to leave to get a regular first team football, but he's good enough to stay. But Colwell not good enough because he's asking the same, make that mistake again. We'll see what happens. No, I don't think there's anything else to. We should sign CR7. Oh, that's out of the question now. Even if we wanted to sign him, we heard that the manager and Cowboy, the co-owner, they had a meeting and the agreement is not to go for the player, and I'm happy. Again, if the manager too obviously is happy. Again, let me see what else do we see here. I would advise Broja to stay, and we'll back up to Havertz again. Says come on CR7. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry about that. So Matt, coming to you. Do you think Broja is ready, or do you think he's good enough? And also, how do you think Thomas Tuchel would accommodate him if you think he's ready?
You talking Broja? You said.
Yeah, Broja.
Broja. I don't mind Broja. I think he's a great player. For his age, it's all right. Someone who needs a lot of time. He needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of practice. He's nothing special yet. I would keep him, possibly loan him if we can. If we don't loan him, I would bring him in. But it's a bit different for Colwill. I thought Colwill, we're looking at this that he wants first team football. He's 19 or something, and he wants first team football. All right, good on him. Off you go. You don't want to play. You don't want to go on a loan. Off you go. I don't understand this hype around him. He hasn't proved to be this legendary footballer that everyone claims to be. I would keep him personally. I would loan him. I think he needs
so
a
you
loan.
want him to become a legend before you say keep him?
No, I'm saying that's what everyone else is saying. Everyone else is saying that he's a legend, he's this, he's that, and this guy has played for Huddersfield. Like, the way people hype him up, like, this guy's 19 playing for Huddersfield.
Okay, you're talking about Colwill now, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was on Cohill. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no, just quickly on Cohill as well. Just he's not ready. He's not ready. He needs a loan. He needs a loan spell like Gallagher. He has to be patient. If he proves himself at other loans, then he can come back for first team football. But at the moment, we don't need. If we're going to get 3 centre backs, I don't see him having room for us. If Tuchel decides to keep him, decides to keep him. But I think, if I'm not wrong, Tuchel's aim is to sell him. Is that correct? I haven't really looked in the thing. I've just known that he doesn't want to.
Nothing is certain. We're not sure. Everything.
No,
those things are all rumors.
But again, if speaking on my perspective, I would keep him. I would get him on another loan. If I think he's good, don't think he's this superb player, but he needs a lot of more experience. He's 19. He's so young. Send him to a Brighton. Send him to I don't know. Send him to some other team that's in the Premier League for him to get Premier League experience. Bring him back when he's ready. There's no rush on these players. We already have players like Sarr that we're keeping. Chalobah. I started this last season. I think we might have rushed Chalobah. Well, lucky Chalobah was a bit older. He had a bit more experience, and he did a bit better. Colwill, we don't need to rush with him. We can be patient with him. We can let him develop. So let's let him develop. If he wants to go and play first team football, then let's send him and play first team football. Never put the players over the manager. If the manager, people are here complaining, but we mustn't forget what Lampard did to Tomori. Lampard dropped Tomori. Lampard did this to Tomori. So Lampard did all this to Tomori, but no one was coming for Lampard's head. So let's just back the manager. Let's see what he does. And all the best from there. Players are not above the manager or the club.
Yeah. How about Broja?
Broja, yeah, just a Broja. I don't think it's a massive topic to discuss because this guy doesn't want to leave. He's very patient. He's willing to stay. I'll send him on another loan if we don't sign another attacker, maybe as a backup striker. If we maybe sell Werner, I don't know. But for me, number one, he has to go on another loan, and he is respective to the club. He's respective to the board. Where he goes, he will be happy with because he wants to fight for his position. He's not cocky like Levi Colwill is. So we'll see what happens. Broja, I think he's a great.
Even with that Levi Colwill being cocky, I don't believe that he's pulled his choice out the pram and said I want to leave. I don't believe that. What?
Well, that's just claims. I'm just reporting the news. I'm not making.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, bro. I know what you mean. Yeah. But just based on those reports that you've seen as well, I've seen the same reports as well. Broja wants to leave. He's demanding first team. How can you? Does that make sense? How can a player demand first team if you've never played first team football before? Who does that?
That's why I was confused when I saw it. I was like, Levi Colwill. I remember Gilmour's brother said that about a couple of months ago, and I was confused when these common players are coming saying how much they want first team football, this and that, when they haven't proved it.
It don't make sense. I don't think, bro. It's almost laughable. The manager will get onto you. It's like me going to my manager and say, "All right, now, manager, I want you to upgrade my role. I'm tired of my, but I've never had experience there. I've never been. You laugh at me. What do I need? It's just common sense." But if he feels that he needs to go, I believe if he felt that he needs to go, he would have gone a long time ago. He would have waited till preseason.
Yeah. I'm going to catch up with the chat. I think we should switch to the next player we have to talk about. Again, it just makes sense. Matt also reacting to Colwill's without knowing as he hasn't checked. Yep, Matt, you haven't checked, so you're in trouble. So glad you're not the manager. Matt, you're being battered in the chat. I know you.
Why is everyone put again? This is the thing. This is what these Cobham sexuals, these Lampard sexuals do. They put players over the manager. If the manager, the manager doesn't want Cristiano Ronaldo, out he goes. I don't care. Cristiano Ronaldo stay at Man United. We're just too busy. These people, the score, Alex Goldberg, these people, they just put the players ahead of the manager. If the manager wants Colwill out, Colwill is gone. There's no, but he's a Cobham, blah, 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 blah. He's gone. He's gone. Accept it.
Yeah. You sounded like Bobby a little bit there. Well, that's by the way. We could send a lone player to Leeds to develop. They say that they liked working with Bali. Yeah, well, that may well be the case. Again, I thought Bali is the good. Yeah, you really love that man. So Matt, let me start with you immediately. Let's talk about Ampadu. Do you think he is good enough to for the team? If you say yes, let us know how you think Thomas Tuchel can accommodate him. If you say no, let us know why.
I think I'll say a good player, but I'll say right now, what position is he? We'll get three different answers. Like I don't even know what his main position is: centre back, CDM, right back. Like where the hell does this guy play? And he's something that he is, as you say, he's the proper six. I wouldn't mind having him as a backup if he does well in preseason. I talked to because I was actually very onto Ampadu. I was always wondering how he does, and I was speaking to what's the team called? Venezia, that Serie A team with the nice kit. I was speaking to one of their fans, and the fans are saying,
Nice kids indeed. That's how you remember them.
yeah, that's how I remember. They got a really nice kit. The kit merchants. But I was speaking to him, and he goes, he works very hard. He's a hard worker. He always stands out, but tactically, he's not the best footballer that they could do with. He's young, he's prospect, he works hard, it's great, but on the ball as well, he's a bit clumsy. And again, he's young. He's this. I personally would do this if we don't get a CDM. I would bring him as a backup for Jorginho. Again, we got to first find out what's his position, man. I'll ask you, I'll ask him, I'll ask this guy, and everyone will say two different things. Remember last season, we didn't know what he was. At Venezia, he was playing as a CDM. So we'll see if he can come as a CDM. I wouldn't mind having him as a backup. How old is he actually? Is he 23 or 21? How old is he now? Let me just double check. He's 21,
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, he's still quite young. Change his hairstyle. I like his old hairstyle, but we'll see what he does there. I wouldn't mind having him as a backup. If he does well in preseason, it all comes down to the preseason. And
Yeah, again, I'll reserve my thoughts on until I hear from everybody on the panel. Again, we have 82 people watching, and we have 89 likes. Just 11 more to get to 100 likes, so to speak. I know we can do that. Tribute says, so Scolari wanting to sell Drogba wasn't questionable. We should have sold him in 2008. Benitez on a 6-month contract wanted Terry and Lampard out. Managers are not always right. That's the truth. And
hey, you're right. They're not always right, but you always back them. Doesn't matter. You always back them over the players. Like, of course, they're going to get some wrong. Then there's some wrong. There's some right. So,
yeah.
I'll personally back the manager.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go on. That's it.
Now, I think this question is for you, Matt. It says, what DM do we have for him to back up? We don't have one. I get the argument.
Jorginho's our main DM. If you guys think Jorginho, he is.
Well, you could argue that.
He did it for Sarri. He did it for 6 games this season. We won all 6 games. He did it for
Italy.
But
I think Lee's argument is Jorginho isn't a defined DM. He's traditionally,
but he can play it.
A regista. He can fulfill that role in a hybrid way. Go ahead.
I don't get this thing. I'm not saying this guy here on the screen is for it, but this is what people say. I go, Jorginho is not the best CDM, but he can play it. Oh, but Tuchel doesn't play with the DM. But the same people won't take the rights.
What he's been playing.
But he can still play it. He can still play.
You could argue that. Yeah, but I get your
point.
But
again, Declan Rice can't still play a lone 6. He still needs someone to hold his hands. So I don't understand this situation. Pick and choose. You know, we have to do what we have. We've got Jorginho. He's done it for Italy. He did it for Sarri, right? Now, I don't think he can play 38 games there because he's been playing on painkillers last season. He's turning injury prone. He's getting old. So why not have Ampadu as a backup then? Because Ampadu will be the backup. Jorginho, if we play a 4-3-3, and we're not buying a DM this season, Frankie de Jong's going to Manchester United, who's going to be our centre defensive mid? Jorginho. Like, we're not going to play Kante there because it's not 2018, and Tuchel said he can't play Kante CDM. So I don't get this fantasy Chelsea fans are living in. Jorginho is going to be a centre defensive mid if we play a 4-3-3. So why not have Ampadu as the backup? Because as I said, Jorginho cannot play 38 games next season. So if Ampadu is a DM and he plays well in the DM position and he proves to Tuchel he deserves to be in the team, then put him in as a backup for all I care, because that'll be great.
If I get the argument, I appreciate that. How about you, IBC? Your thoughts? You think Ampadu is good enough? If he's good enough, how can Thomas Tuchel accommodate him? And if he's not good enough, you let us know why you think so.
Ampadu's not a scary one, but it's a different one because he's been on loan for quite some time, and he hasn't really been involved in the first team. So it's either Thomas Tuchel had to take a look at him this year or send him out. He's 21. Oh, you see, we have a lot of players. We have a lot of players in the loan washing machine that we don't even know what we're going to do with. Ethan Ampadu, yeah, I play him as a centre back or a DM. He could do a decent cover for Jorginho. I mean, is he proven? That's the only thing. It's hard. But for depth, if we need the depth, yeah, I will keep him. He's only 21. He can develop. So I'm not worried. So even if he's a backup to Jorginho, that's good enough for me. Yeah, I'll take him. I'll still keep him. We can't be selling all our players. We just can't be selling all our products. We can't do that. Someone has to bear fruit. A few have to bear fruit.
Yeah, I think he'll be like a forced backup. Like if we don't get him, which we're not, he'll be our second best option. Like who else is there going to be? So I think it's more we'll be forced to do it. It's like same with Broja. If we don't get another striker, then Broja will be put in our team as a backup.
I don't even see Broja leaving, even if we do get a striker or not. I don't see him leaving.
Yeah, but for the poll for Broja, 85% wants him to stay,
no idea what that
and
is.
15% wants the club to sell him. So go ahead, guys. You were saying something.
Yeah. So again, just the what IBS was saying, that as same with Ampadu, I don't think he's personally ready. But again, it's like we need the player. We didn't go out and get De Jong. We didn't go out and get Tchouaméni and all these other players. So we are now not forced, but we're now going to use our academy. This is what we use our academy for, guys. We don't use our academies to replace a position. We use it as, we didn't get a position? Here we go. This is what we use our academy for. It's not starting players. This is what they should be used for. And this is a perfect chance for Ampadu. As I said, if I was Ampadu and I knew the situation, I would stay at Chelsea, being as a backup. Again, but it all comes down to Tuchel and what he proves in the preseason.
Yeah, I think I want him to stay, and I think he's good enough. He's not been unlucky on loan. That doesn't take anything away from the quality that he can bring to the team. Plus, again, over time, Ampadu is that player. I think you could argue because of how unlucky he's been on loan, people tend to underrate him. If you followed him long enough, you'd see, you'd see you'd see that he's a good player. And the example I always like to use is that his versatility is one thing, and he can play comfortably in the midfield as a DM or a hybrid DM if you want. He can also comfortably slot in as a central defender, as a CB. He's good at that. An example I've always used when he was still in Germany, when he played in the Champions League game against Tottenham, he put the Tottenham players in his pocket. He did quite well. He was that good. Again, this is Tripoli saying, Kachila, why are the panelists allowed to say backup? I've tried to mention in occasions we don't use the term backup.
But we're not allowed to say the word backups.
No, we need starting players everywhere. 2 starting players in each position.
He's going to be a backup to Jorginho, who's going to be our captain. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's his argument. We want 2 starting players in everywhere, so that when one gets injured, we have an equally good player.
Yeah, that's called a backup player to a main player. Yeah, player.
Not necessarily. It depends on how you want to see it. A backup means you sit on the bench no matter what happens until the other guy gets injured. But if you have 2 starting players in one position, they will both be vying for places in the team. Whoever does what is in better form starts. Again, you get my argument, but I understand your argument too. In most cases, they can be backup. Yep. Ampadu deserves his chance at Chelsea. He had several loans, and he's good enough, if you ask me. And by the way, before we continue, please, I want to ask you to go check out Matt's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe again and let him know I sent you. Matt, you can share the link to your channel in the chat. Please let him go and subscribe. Here says, big up everyone. And Gunplay, nice to join us, brother. I hope you're doing well. They say lateness is greatness. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, we did 9 more likes to get to 100 likes, and we have 83 people watching. And my analytics shows nearly 80% of people watching the Blue Morning Show hasn't subscribed. So please do subscribe. Keep liking the video if you haven't. It says, Matt, I get what you're saying. We need to back the manager more, and Tuchel will have to make 4 decisions this summer. I think only Ampadu leaves alone. Colwill, Gallagher, and Broja remain at the club. We'll see if that happens. I think only two of those academy players will remain at the club, if you ask me. That's how I see it.
Just quickly, Coach. I'm just thinking, like, the more I talk about it, the more I realize that maybe Ampadu may be one of the people who will need to stay. Again, as I point out, that we're not going to get a midfielder, so we may need a backup DM. But again, there is always the point that all of them could stay and all of them can leave. That's what preseason games are for. Preseason games, yes, it's to prove yourself, but it's also to prove that you can get sold. That's why we want these Barclays, we want all these on the pitch, so these other teams can come and eye out these players and scout them and then snatch them up. That's what we all hope for some of these loanees.
Yeah, and did I skip? Somebody says, "Hey, Declan, did I skip Declan's comments here?" Okay, he says, "Big up, everyone. Big up to you too, brother. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well." Again, Ampadu DM says, "Kim, so nice to see you again, Kim. So I know I've said hello to you." Ampadu, we're talking about a Welsh international at 17. That's how. And one thing again that people seem not to forget about Ampadu is that he's a leader. He's a born leader. And if you pay attention when he plays, how he communicates with teammates, you know, he has it in him. I like us to really give him a chance, and I think he will excel at Chelsea with good players around him. I think we'll be able to see what he's able to offer. Todd Bowley really making moves out here. Shame on you, impatient Chelsea fans who were saying he's a typical American owner. This again, the argument against American football club owners is just absolute nonsense. I think they do quite well. It's just that maybe they don't have the right people in the right places in terms of the DOL or club chairman and all that. Like, and Manchester United, they spend more than $1 billion and then still haven't achieved what they want. So it all comes down to the people they have in places. So it's not about the American owners. Again, gunplay cooking, quite a lot. It's on the stove. Hi, Declan. I hope you're doing well. File Diazo says there's a huge chance that Ampadu will bench Aki if he comes. Because
it's easy. Center back or DM. Like, no one knows.
I think that's a very, very, very delicious comment and argument right there. Because overall, if you ask me, I'd actually say Ampadu is a better player than Aki. Again, that's how I see it. I know some people will see that differently, but I think he makes that argument there makes sense because Ampadu slots very well in the center back position, and he can execute it quite well also. Okay, Kulas, Charles, Ali, and others. Again, what argument is that? Just give me a second. Let me take care of this guys here. Just making the chat really, really dirty. I think somebody else has blocked it. That's why I'm not able to do so. Big up, Boogeyman. Big up to you too, bro. Well, get cooked by team. If we use Jorginho as a lone DM, it will never work.
Well, he did it for 6 games last season, and we won all 6.
Ever. Yeah.
So we did it. I'm just saying, we did it for this season. He did under Sarri. He won the Euros with Italy for it. So it's not that he can 100% do it, but he can do it. He can fill in that spot. We still need a DM, but he can fill in that spot 100%. He's done it before. People have short-term memory loss. Yeah. Coming to you, Declan. I don't know if I've asked you. Sorry, not Declan yet. Declan is just joining. I'm going to give him the backseat for a while. IBZ, have I asked you about Ampadu? What you think?
You've asked me. Bear with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Declan, you're lucky. So, Declan, let's know what you think about Ampadu. Do you think it's good enough? Do you think Tuchel should accommodate him? If yes, how? If you think it's not good enough, you let us know why. We want to know.
You actually, am I on the back seat or asking me?
No, you're in front seat now.
Big up, everyone.
You're in front seat now. Go ahead.
I feel like we're in Rodriguez's bus.
I think it's probably dropped the key after we signed 2 players.
Well, it's good. I think at least the fan base can settle down a little bit. And it looks like we're not stopping. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
We started late. We're going to finish strong. But I think Ampadu is kind of like that player that Tuchel likes. That versatile. You don't even know. You couldn't even guess where he'll end up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in the centre back roles, in the midfield. Tuchel likes to throw people at wing back. even though they're only attacking players. But I mean, he could look at Ampadu and go, this guy can play a lot of positions, which is going to be great for the season. In like with a World Cup season, 5 subs. Even if it comes to a tactical change, Ampadu can do a unique role. I think he stays. I think Tuchel will like the versatility. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves as well. I don't think he's had the best of loan spells, and he probably needs a good one.
Yeah, that doesn't help his case. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if he went on loan or wanted to actually get sold somewhere to a club that he prefers. But I can see Tuchel taking a liking to him.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much for this compliment. He says, "Big up, coach. Man United fans and their absurdity started the anti-American nonsense. It is the board of locals that's the problem. Yep, those owners have spent quite a lot of money, and yet they were not able to sort out the issues they have at the club. It looks like it got worse. I think with Ten Hag, I think things changes. They're beginning to realize why they've made so much mistake. 6 games. Yeah, listen. No, we don't. Why do you say no? We don't. Can you let me know, Lee? Please, I want to get into the conversation. I miss you, Boogeyman. I know Chelsea fans have different opinions, but I respect you a lot. I'm not sure what you're trying to tell him there, the coolest Chelsea. If we play a 4-3-3, even Loftus-Cheek will wake up. Because under Sarri, that was the best version of Loftus-Cheek. Ampadu might be down in the order. Gilmour ahead of him. Again, Loftus-Cheek depends where he's deployed. Even if we play
Send him back to
back
Sarri,
system.
man.
Sorry.
So send him back to Sarri then.
Yeah,
Loftus-Cheek,
maybe,
I think,
and
back,
get Milinkovic if we really want that, because Sarri wants him. Sarri wants Kepa Arrizabalaga, I'm hearing, but I'm not sure how true that is. Short-term memory loss. You've just forgotten about an entire season under Lampard, where we had Jorginho as CDM. Again, the position,
Lampard.
Yeah, just 1 second. The position.
Go on.
Yeah, the position says he plays CDM, but how he fulfills the role, you'd see you have a register in that position. Again, you can put a defender between the sticks. That doesn't make that defender a goalkeeper. But because he's in that position, you call him goalkeeper. But again, I don't know if you get my point. Go ahead, Matt. You wanted to say something.
Well, he did it again. That's an exception to the rule. Everyone was shit under Lampard. Lampard killed half our team. Sorry, he wanted it for the Euros. He did it last season for us, guys. 6 games, but he did it for a whole Italy season. He did it for the Sarri season. When we if you guys don't remember, we won the Europa League. So, he maybe did it bad under Lampard, but let's not forget how bad everyone was under Lampard. We were horrible under Lampard. We were 10th on the ladder. So don't forget that. And he was abused by Lampard.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. So, anybody, I think we've all talked about Ampadu. The next player I want us to talk about, and I'll start with you, Matt, is Billy Gilmour. Let us know what you think. The same, every aspect that I asked you about Ampadu and the other players.
Gilmour, again, it's the same thing. This guy, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. It's a hard one because it would be him and Ampadu fighting again for the backup spot. I wouldn't mind having one of them, but I don't think we can have both. I wouldn't mind sending Gilmour on another loan. I think he needs another loan. I think when he was here, when we won the Champions League, he was good. He was good, but there's always room for improvement. He went to Norwich, didn't do well there. I think it was a horrible team. Anyway, give him another chance. Give him another loan. But I don't see him coming in and being an instant starter. For me, yes, there's an exception, but being time to
wake up ground.
Why does he have to be instant starter?
No, I never said that. But I'm saying, also declare what I was saying before is if we play 4-3-3, Jorginho will be our starting DM, Ampadu will be our Ampadu will be our second CDM.
Just say it's a backup.
Ampadu or Gilmour.
Oh, we're not allowed
to say backup on the channel. Somehow we're not allowed to use it here.
Go ahead.
But
go ahead.
Just quickly,
I get the argument.
Gilmour, I would probably prefer an Ampadu.
Just say B team.
But no, but the truth is, let's be honest here.
Gilmour
if you get
is
players
quite...
that you feel like ain't good enough, they end up being backups, whether you like it or not. And that's the situation. Matt, go ahead with what you're saying.
Well, backup.
But we need a squad anyway, so it shouldn't be even a bad word.
Yeah,
because even a backup...
Here's what I'm saying.
anyway,
because a backup can
haven't.
easily be a starting 11.
Here's the argument here, Declan. In the case of Gilmour, because of how badly his loan went, clearly he will be a backup. And then with time, he can be a competition for the guy in question. By definition, there's no way he comes in and walks into the team and start being a competition to Jorginho or whoever who plays in that position. But that's by the way, Matt. Go ahead, make your point, please.
I would personally prefer an Ampadu just because of his, I don't like a short DM. Yeah, all right, Kante, that's 6'7" to the rule. Billy Gilmour, maybe great in other factors, but I would personally go for an Ampadu. As you said, Coach, he is a leader. And I know that. He's a great leader. He's great urgency. As I said, for Venezia, when I spoke to that fan, he said he works very, very hard. Might not prove it every single game, but he still works very, very hard. And, we said about Werner a couple of seasons ago, but at least this player puts some work in. So I will take that as a rotational player. So I will personally have Ampadu in as the rotational player, and I'll personally send Gilmour out on another one because I think that's what he needs.
Okay, fine. That's your argument right there. We don't have too many stuff in the chat. I'm going to try and catch up with it. Does it make sense to sell a J5 this summer than lose him on loan? I'd rather we sell him.
But we sell him, and who comes in?
Yeah. Look, we have this guy. I think this guy can fulfill the role. Hold on. Milinkovic can fulfill the role. You just have to be a little more disciplined. What's his name? The Nunes guy. The Mafias Nunes.
Hang on. You're saying Jorginho is not a DM, but somehow Savic's a DM. Savic's an 8.
It's not DM, but we're talking about something. The way we play, if we're playing back 2 6s, I can't say those are not 2 DMs.
No, but
I'd rather call them CMs, given the way the application is what makes it different from a DM role. You get my argument now. Or if you want to see them too as DMs, that's up to you. But my point is, if we sell Jorginho, somebody can help us. If we're bent on trying to control the games, play back or sideways in most cases, I think those guys will fulfill that role better than Jorginho because both of them are more physical and quicker, actually. But then again, they need to be more disciplined because I think we've talked about this before, and Declan rightly argued that those guys are more like in the mode of Kovacic than Jorginho. But the good thing is that they're good on the ball also, and they can help you control the game. But that's my argument. I get you. I get your own argument too. Does he make again? It doesn't make sense. I've argued that before. Lee says short-term memory loss. Yeah, again, Lee, 100% a sell J5 rather than lose him on a free. And it's looking like he's planning to leave on a free, if you ask me, because I'm not sure what's happening there. Because that's the friend at Chelsea, if you want to see that. Declan, again, he's talking to someone, Boogeyman, who's in the chat here. It says J5 is Billy. Yep, I get that.
Closest to a Ballon d'Or, man. Closest to a Ballon d'Or.
Look, I'm not saying Jorginho is a bad player, but I think he's being exposed in the Premier League more and more and more. I don't know whether it's because he's aging or because people have learned that when you pressure him that much, he makes 2-3 mistakes per game. Some of them.
It's because he's playing on. It was because he was playing on painkillers for half the season because he had to play.
That's why the mistake is made even when he didn't have a headache. If you ask me, I know when you're talking about the painkillers, and I get it. And yet, Kepa gets undue abuse over the one season. Matt can agree with you on that one.
Lampard will abuse everyone that wasn't English.
Yeah, but that's why with Declan coming to you, let us know what you think about Ampadu. Was it Ampadu who we're talking about right now? Gilmour, sorry.
Gilmour, for me, I think it's like you said. I think he's the more similar to Jorginho, but maybe far off in skill-wise. But under Lampard, Gilmour had some moments which were exciting to see. I mean, can Tuchel? I mean, Tuchel has gotten the best out of a lot of players. Do you know what I mean? Can Tuchel get the best out of Gilmour? Is the
He
question,
can.
and
Didn't you
if he
see the games
does,
he played under Thomas Tuchel?
no,
No, he played
get
against
games?
Manchester City. Yeah, against
Yeah, he did that
and he
City
did
game
well.
and that Liverpool
I think
game.
I think he played three high-profile games against.
He got the
yeah,
man
for
of the
Thomas
match
Tuchel, and he
against
did.
Liverpool.
Yeah, he won one man
I
of
feel
the
like
match
there was
under
only a
Thomas
handful
Tuchel
of
too.
like a very handful
He
of
only
games.
played 5 or 6.
So that was
yeah.
why I was really pissed when he was let go on loan. But I'm hearing that he wanted to leave because he wanted to play regularly so he can represent his country. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when he wanted to leave and he wanted to stay. He got a run of games for saying he wanted to stay, but then I felt like Tuchel benched him a lot of the time. I think it's a smaller sample, but I feel like Tuchel didn't get enough time to work with him. I mean, a good preseason under Tuchel. It's probably more what I want to see. But I think, man, we need these guys to stay. We need a solid squad. Everyone's going to talk about, oh, this person coming in and where's he going to play. We need a squad. We need 2 teams to handle this season. So we don't call them backups then. We call them the B team because that's what we need. And when you're talking about the formation now as well, we've been linked with Kimpembe, Aki. That's a lot. That's a lot of defenders. If those guys actually come in, we're sticking with the same formation. There's no free in the middle. So that changes everything after that. So I still, if Gilmour leaves and all the other players we've been talking about, those players have been pushing it. They will be pushing it as well. I mean, Colwill already looks like he wants to go, but that's from his own. That he wants to go. If Gilmour wants to go, he's going to go.
That, actually.
Yeah, I think the biggest influence is whether that player wants to stay and fight. If Ampadu leaves, it's alright. Because every fan talks about like, oh, the club, why did the club let him leave and all that? No, most of it is the players actually want to move. Or they want game time somewhere else. They think they will get that. So if they don't want it, they'll probably all stay. So right now, it's down to Gilmour. For me, if he stays, then you see that he actually wants to fight. And then if he has a really good season doing what Jorginho was doing, then we're going to let Jorginho go. See you later. Let him go for free. Sell him in January. Whatnot. Who knows? If Gilmour really steps up. It's a big ask, though.
Yeah, it's a bit if. That's a bit of an if. I can't wait to see Gilmour and Ampadu as our midfielders next season in the Europa League. Like, come on, what is this, man? This conversation. J5 is our starting
in Europa League.
J5 is our starting. No, next season. We're in this season. J5 is our starting DM. Nothing is changing that. No academy players are going to come in and replace it from him in game week 1. We can get players fighting for it.
So hold on, Matt.
Hold on. But J5 is our starting.
If Gilmour
CDM.
has a great game, a great run of games, and Jorginho doesn't, so we can't say that Gilmour should start.
Gilmour will be dictated from preseason. If Gilmour has 3 great preseason games, I'm not going to go, oh, yeah.
No, not from preseason.
Yeah, he's going to start.
Jorginho starts the season like you said.
He'll get loaned. He'll get loaned.
No, Jorginho starts the season, but Jorginho gets injured, right? So Gilmour comes in. And while Jorginho is out, right. Gilmour has some great games. Should Gilmour get benched when Jorginho is back?
Well, no, it'll be a great fight for rotation.
So then what are you on about?
I'm saying game week 1, Jorginho will start, but no, I'm saying Ampadu. These players are saying, let's sell J5 and give Ampadu and Gilmour a chance to compete. Why would we give these guys a chance to compete when they haven't proven anything recently? I'm saying, you're 100% right. Come game week 1, J5 starts. 5 games in, J5 gets injured. Gilmour plays 5 great games. And yeah, that's a great time. That's what I love. I love when people are fighting for their positions. But game week 1, J5 starts. Ampadu and Gilmour are not going to be our starting CDMs next season. It will be J5.
All right. Let me catch up with
he's going to be our Capitano as well.
Declan, are you still making your point?
I was going to say the biggest gripe with people about J5 is if you want to stay, sign the contract.
He will.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he wants to leave.
When? Now
or his agent wants him to leave. I think he wants to stay.
No,
I would sign him on a free.
Matt, can we agree something here? Can we agree something here? you can't tell me if a player's agent comes out every 6 minutes, he comes out and says that Jorginho wants to go to Italy and blah, blah, blah. You can't tell me that Jorginho isn't aware of those things. He is well aware of whatever his agent is saying out there. Otherwise, he'd fire him by now, because this is not like the 10th million time. It's like the 12th million time. And
but Chelsea haven't given him the extension yet. When they give that contract out, and if he says no, then
and in most cases, if the player wants to stay, they reach out to the club and say, okay, what are we doing? Should I be looking for another club?
Yeah, but
it happens.
That should be happening now, because
it should be happening now. But again, we don't have.
Listen, we went through 2 contracts.
To leave.
Yeah, we went through 2 contract situations this season, and you saw how it was. You don't want Jorginho just to have contract issue and not be able to play in the second half of the season because he's got contract issues.
You want to sell Jorginho now?
If he doesn't sign.
Yeah, if he doesn't sign, sell him. It's a risk.
Yeah, if he doesn't want to sign,
you get a sizable free from him.
But the club, but how can we do that when the club hasn't given him the contract yet to sign?
And how do we know the club hasn't tried to give him one?
Because they haven't given one to Reece James, man. They haven't done it to anyone. Yeah. We're signing players, and we're not giving extensions yet.
Yeah. Here's the thing, no matter how you say, I still think Jorginho wants to leave.
Okay.
That's my argument. It's a risk, but I don't want to see that happen. It's a risk. If we want to sell him, let's sell him now. If we don't want to give him renew his contract.
Now, then yeah. But then we have to buy a midfield. It looks like we're not even moving to buy one. No, so I wouldn't even entertain.
Hey, we're moving now, Rodrigo. You say that Koulibaly. You know what? The fact that Koulibaly's in, right? I think Jorginho stays even more. I mean, they two had a great connection, and I think
that's a good point.
They want to signate that.
That's a good point.
I think they want to use that as well.
Mm-hmm. But another issue is that Jorginho has 1 year left on his contract. Negotiating a new deal is going to be very, very difficult. Right now, he knows if he leaves on the free, he gets a sign-on fee, which I don't think that's a chance he will never get that from Chelsea, even if he stays. But we'll see what happens. Again, let's continue.
I think he could be promised already. You know, like
that's
say
a possibility.
for example,
that's why I'm saying there's no way to tell whether the club hasn't reached out to him. And so they may have reached out to him, say, just calm down, we'll talk to you since, let's get these kids done. There's a chance we don't know, but there's no way to tell. Yeah. Again, I say it's...
hey, you know what the other good thing is? So I just want to make this point. If the reports are true and he's going into this season and we're going to start negotiating from, say, for example, from the World Cup, because he's not taking part, so that's a good month to negotiate since he's not there between the club and the player.
Yeah, let's not deviate too much. Go ahead.
I was just going to make the point that we'll probably see we're going to see one of the best of Jorginho's till then. He's going to play like he's playing for a new contract. And so I can see we're going to get the best of Jorginho till September. Till November, sorry.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So True Blue says, good job, Stav is not here. You're lucky, Matt. Well, thank God Stav is not here.
Stav can come. Who cares?
Yeah,
where is? I don't care.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, and we do talk on occasion on Facebook, but almost months now we haven't. Matt? But that's by the way.
I don't know.
Vinicius kid's so nice. So Matt is very correct. It's a club that has a very good
nice
kid. Jorginho will leave on a free and join Juve. I think that may well happen. Declared, you are actually right. He is a really versatile. That can be his downfall with Chelsea FC. Versatility, yes, it can be nice from the perspective of the manager. Sometimes for a player who's eager to get playing time, versatility it can be, good for them. But usually young players, versatility is dangerous to their development, because the manager will have you in the team just for the sake of your ability to play everywhere. If he's short on personnel in a particular position, he just ship you out there and then use someone else somewhere else. Yeah. So it makes sense that he was right, but it's a risk too. Far off skill-wise, I think I know where this argument is coming from. It's I think Declare probably what you said regarding Billy Gilmour's skill compared to what's his name? Compared to Jorginho, I think skill-wise, I think Gilmour is actually better. That's my argument. And then, we're right to argument. He's just more experienced. Gilmour can progress the ball better than Jorginho. Physically, he can adapt better than Jorginho. and yeah, but that's my argument. You can come in later if you want, but I want us not to get far away from that topic. Let me just get to the bottom of everything here. I think we can. Gilmour needs more love from Tuchel to succeed. Tuchel has to rethink how to handle Billy. I think he already knows what the kid is capable of doing. I think it was a mistake to let him live on loan in the first place. He played about three high-profile games under Thomas Tuchel, and he did well and won one of the match. One of them, like Matt did mention here, Gilmour, Anjorin, Harvey Vale, Matson, keep Ampadu, Broja, Gallagher need squad depth. Again, we'll see what happens. Somebody had already argued Tuchel doesn't want to leave it, risk it because he's expected to win. But that's, by the way, I'm going to come to you, IBZ, before I go to Ty, who joined late, and Rodrigo, who also joined late. Maybe he had to go pack the panic bus somewhere. IBZ, coming to you. Your thoughts on Billy Gilmour?
Billy. It's a weird one with him because he has the experience to do well in it. But would he be given a chance in it? That's the problem. He smashed the Euros when he played England. Like England versus Scotland, he smoked
the English midfield that day.
Yeah, he smoked.
He won man of the match in the game, right?
Yeah, I think he did. My problem with him is just the physicality. That's the only thing.
I thought you were on my side, but go ahead.
That's the only thing I have against him, his physicality. I just think that he probably not as strong on probably get bullied in midfield as opposed to him bullying midfielders. In terms of ball progression, I feel he can progress the ball well. He's got good feet. In that midfield, he's very good, but he may need to bustle up his strength. It's just the strength. It's just his physicality in midfield is what I believe is his downfall. Just getting shrugged off, getting moved. That's the only problem I have. And obviously, maybe does he need another season? No, he doesn't. Because if he's going on loan, you might as well sell him. Because he's played football, a lot of football over the past couple of years. Obviously, you could argue Norwich is not really a good team or whatever, but still, he's playing Premier League football. He has the experience. He's an international footballer. I mean, he owns it. He owns it to himself to be an established footballer now, especially at his age. Even though he's still under 22, he still has the experience to go ahead and do amazing things. I hope we give him a chance, but again, like I said, how many players can we give a chance? Not everyone. We have a lot of academy talent. Not everyone's going to make it. So with Billy Gilmour, it's a hard one. It depends on how we see him in pre-season. But I wouldn't mind if we sell him or keep him. I'm of the camp. I don't think if we do sell him, we've sold Kevin De Bruyne. No, I don't think that. But I do think
that's how you will sound until he starts, killing it somewhere else.
Yeah, I know.
But
that means we should have kept everyone that left. We should have kept Abraham. We should have kept Tomori. We should have kept Livramento. We shouldn't sell. How many of those guys are going to be Salah and De Bruyne didn't come from our academy, but we had them young. We'll see how it goes. But I'm happy with Gilmour. I don't mind keeping him, but it's either we keep him or we sell him. We can't send him out on loan again. No. No.
Yeah, okay. I get your argument there. And how about you, Ty, before I go to Rodrigo? Your thoughts on Billy Gilmour? Matt, have you talked about Billy Gilmour?
Yeah.
Okay, Rodrigo, you go ahead.
Yeah, my froze.
Oh, okay, you have to drive it to your phone to unmute it. Okay, go ahead, Ty. No, when you use... Go ahead. Yeah, I'm just joking. He knows too. Go ahead.
Bill Gilmour is a player. I think you guys were speaking about it because I was sitting here listening to you guys, and you guys were speaking about the fact that he was crucial personally under Lampard. He had that introduction against Liverpool for the first time, and then he actually did well, and then he got another chance in the next game against Everton. And then obviously we know what happened after that. And then, Podger restart. He didn't play initially from the beginning, but he started to take that role per se from Jorginho, and Jorginho was used a bit less. Obviously, the things really changed, and then Tool comes in and uses him, and then sometimes chops him at halftime and things like that. But I mean, I think sometimes people forget that it was not necessarily on Tuchel that he went on loan. He decided that he wanted to go on loan. He said himself that he wanted to go on loan because he had contracted the virus, and he didn't trust himself, and he wanted to see if he could go somewhere else and probably get game time and develop, because he understood at that time that the likelihood, even though that was an assumption, that he would not be getting game time or enough game time that probably would have benefited him. But obviously, we know what happened throughout the season. Some niggas, unfortunately, didn't work out long term, and we were struck with injuries in the midfield continuously with Kante and Kovacic, and obviously we had to use Zubel Cheek in a more deep position than he's normally great in. So I think, in a sense, he's a good player. I just think that him going on loan to Norwich City probably hampers his progression into the team, and probably making a name for himself as a starter. Probably not use the word starter, but probably as somebody who you can say, Bill Gilmour is a player that maybe I could start him for this game, and probably I can expect him to give at least a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 performance. So I think it's unfortunate with him. It means that he has to, once again try to find some way of persuading Tuchel of trusting him. But that also comes down to if he stays or if he goes on loan. And right now there's an indication that he could stay. If all things fail in terms of not going for a midfielder, if there's an attempt to go for a midfielder and it fails, maybe then he may stay. But I think right now it's still probably a bit too early to say. There's probably this discussions happening perhaps around that as well. But I don't think that there's per se a decision to say that Billy Gilmour's going back on loan, and I think that I don't think so.
How long does he have on his contract?
2 years.
Is it
Yeah, I think
right now? Did he extend?
I think he extended his contract.
Extended
Yeah,
for 1 more.
He did. He extended.
Oh, but it was set to be automated. It wasn't. That is if the club wants, they extend it. It wasn't like it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna lose him
okay.
per se.
Yeah. So I had my fear before we start. Ty, we're getting the feedback from you, or your microphone is acting up. Maybe, I'm not sure. So okay, let me just try and catch up with the chat first. We have 98 likes, just 2 more to reach 100. Ty, are you still talking?
I'm trying to my whole stream already has been messed, so I'm trying to mute and it's not allowing me to mute. So probably you have to mute me.
All right, thank you. Again, let me try and catch up with the chat. Even from here, I can't meet you, so maybe I'll take you off. You come back in. So let me. Okay, the heck, I can't even kick him out. Okay, there you go. Okay, right. Thank you very much. Let me catch up with the chat, and again, we need one more like to get to 100 likes, and we have 7 people watching. So thank you guys, are absolute legend. I'd be ungrateful not to say thank you for 99 likes. And again, I'd rather you like the videos than donating your hard-earned cash to the channel. There are other ways the channel can make money. You being part of the conversation, you watching even when you're not in the chat, those things do go a long way. So I appreciate all your support. Chiefly said, we're talking about full Welsh international and Scottish internationals. J5 is not going into World Cup because he cracked up a penalty, a pressure. Matt, how I wish I argued this against you. You saying J5, in this, but that's by the way. Again,
I'm sorry. Hang on. But I'm sorry. These guys have never, won a Euros. They've never gone a Ballon d'Or contender, then they've won a UEFA Player of the Season award.
That's a good counter argument.
This shit about Jorginho not on the World Cup. It's better for us. I don't know why people are complaining. It's better for us. We support Chelsea. It's better for us. So
if you really like the player, then you being selfish there. You don't want him to go to the World Cup. How is it better for you?
Exactly. If you support
the whole
player,
team not to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, we don't want anyone.
Good season if they don't go to the World Cup.
If you're a Chelsea supporter,
but Trippier must be supporting Scottish players, and that maybe they should be our transfer target and Welsh players.
Yeah, just go for them.
Yeah, I think
play the championship.
Since he started coming to this channel, I think he likes those players. I've seen that myself. But that's by the way.
The Scottish and Welsh team.
Yeah,
is Trippier Scottish?
I've noticed that.
Must be part of the UK.
Kids, let me just put it this way: the academy kids, I think he likes them. But that's
I like the academy kids too. I'm not sure what point. I'm not sure how you can just say, well, they're internationals and maybe they should start. They're part of our team. Let's see them play.
Maybe from the perspective they're good enough to start for this team. I think that's what he's arguing. But
the problem is every player has seen the pathways, right? Now they can see Mount and Reece James and how they got in, and now they can see other players that left and how they established their career. And they've got to think about their career they've got to think about their development. Yeah. So if they feel, regardless of how prestige Chelsea feel to them, right? Mm-hmm. If they feel that I'm going to become a better player if I go to this club and play regularly, then that's what they're going to do. They can be a great backup for us, but they're going to push that, and they're going to want to leave.
Yeah, they can.
If the reports are true about Colwill, he must have saw that. He must have saw how many defenders were going in for, right? And where he would be. He didn't even go. So if he's made that statement, not even a preseason, he's not bothering with preseason. He already made up his mind. I'm gonna go somewhere else, loan, sale, put a buyback, whatever. But I need to play somewhere else before Chelsea. And these players might see the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get your argument. If you're watching, please go check out Mark's YouTube channel. It's called Z-Volley. For 2 years, I've called it Z-Volley. And that's why every time I search it, I can't find it. I only was able to find it only when I get a notification that he's streaming us. So, again, for the poll that asks those in the chat, do you want Gilmour to remain at Chelsea? 85% says yes, 15% said no. Again, if we pay attention to what the fans want in terms of keeping the youths or not, you'd see the whole 11 will be the academy players. I have to be honest with you. Again, I was here, and I think the Chelsea, the Kingslayer says it will be bad business to lose a J5 on a free after all the moaning over AC Milan, AC and Rudy. Serious bad business. Again, that at one point. It will be very difficult because he will be in a better position to negotiate because he knows if he lives on a free, he gets more money. And I think we're almost at that point now. So we must, like we learned from those in the chat, he's free to talk to other clubs in January. And that's very, very dangerous. So we must know that best time for Chelsea to cash in on Jorginho and get a new DM and get a defined DM and get a traditional DM, not a register turned DM, because by default Jorginho isn't a DM. He's played for that role for us, but we must recognize that he is really not a DM. He's a register. If J5 isn't happy with his agent, who has been saying the same stuff about moving every minute actually, then why hasn't he fired him? That shows you that he's well aware of. They know what they're doing exactly. Maybe that's a way to, to try to get the club to start talking with them. And why the club hasn't done that is if they haven't, I don't know. The club have to decide whether they want to keep Jorginho a contract, sell him this summer, or that's up to them. Matt, please, can you, if you have time, if I try to share the link to your channel, my screen will froze because I have issues with the right-hand screen. It's giving me a big problem. I can't do something then. Again, this has been a great conversation. And so, Rodrigo, I want to get your thoughts on the argument on whether to keep Billy Gilmour. And I want you to let me know if you think it's good enough, really.
Yeah, well...
Then if you're good enough, if you want us to keep him, how do you think Thomas Tuchel, what he will do to accommodate the player?
All right, so what is the objective for next season? That's my I always start from there, because if if we want to compete with Liverpool and Man City, I'm sorry, we can't have a Billy Gilmour starting 38 games in the Premier League. Billy Gilmour can't be our starting.
Nobody's
midfielder.
calling for him to replace
Right.
Jorginho.
And Billy Gilmour, I'm sorry, I always criticize Jorginho, but Billy Gilmour is nowhere near Jorginho's level. That's just a fact. Maybe give Billy maybe another 3 years.
Yeah, you can call him Hilly Billy too.
Because what we don't understand, Jorginho's position. Jorginho does a specific role in this team, and is it to find a player like a player that does what Jorginho does, and on top of that, you want to add a bit of physicality, is very difficult in this transfer market. What we need to do is play like a sitting a more defensive minded DM. Those are much easier to find. So if we sell Jorginho, that changes our way we play. That will change the way Chelsea play entirely, because Jorginho is basically the anchor man in that team. Without him, we won't play the way we play now. So some people say right, they don't like the way we play. Fair enough, but I enjoy some of our games with Jorginho in it, and I don't think Billy Gilmour his physicality is not. I don't think he can cut in the league. He need another strong person next to him. I remember the game.
Billy
She's
Gilmour
stronger than Jorginho, yeah?
He went toe-to-toe with Cristiano Ronaldo and won. Aerial battle.
That's the one.
Hey,
Gilmour is strong.
Hey, Billy Gilmour is stronger than Jorginho. They can't make that
Honestly,
case.
that's
Billy
the truth.
Jorginho.
Yeah.
100%.
Gilmour's still not strong. But we know Jorginho's weak. That's his weakness. Gilmour's still not strong compared to a proper
Go ahead, Rodrigo. Maybe you packed the boss far away, because I don't know what you're talking about right now.
So you guys will rather have Billy Gilmour starting than Jorginho.
Honestly,
no, you said physically he wasn't physical enough.
He needs time, because I don't think he's there where he
what's
was
the rush?
before he left us. He lost form.
He lost form, yeah. So what's the rush of getting Jorginho off the Chelsea then? I mean, there's no rush.
If we're getting in someone like Matthias Nunes, or maybe getting in Savage, then we can just let him go.
Savage can't do what?
Rodriguez, the argument is that going into a season where if he doesn't sign, we should sell him, because going into the season where I said he's going to have a great time, right? You're gonna see the best of Jorginho playing for a contract, but then after that, if he's trying to move on a free, you're gonna see the same problems we had with like Christensen, and maybe he doesn't play, and maybe his head's not there, and a whole bunch of stuff, right? And we probably go missing the second half of the season.
Yeah, before you go too far, you talked a lot there, but the first sentence you said, if he doesn't sign. Why is he going to sign when there's no contract?
Rodrigo, just move on from Jorginho. Let us know if you think you don't want him to. He's not good enough. He shouldn't stay.
I want Jorginho to stay, and I want Billy Gilmour to stay, right? And I believe Billy Gilmour.
Okay, how do you accommodate him if he stays?
How do I accommodate? The same way I'll accommodate Broja. The same way I'll accommodate. What's his name? Colwill in defense. I don't want these young kids to think they can start for Chelsea week in and week out. We're here to win the league, or at least to compete with City and Liverpool. And we're not doing that with Billy Gilmour. We can do it with Jorginho, but we're not doing it with Billy Gilmour in a team starting.
Yeah, here's a good question. I think, Mikhail, thank you for finding time to join us. I think that argument is, if we sell him now in 3 years, we'll be looking to buy him back.
No, I think if we sell him, he's gone. I think that's it. That's it.
You think it's not going to allow? If we're able to sell him, I think the club know his potentials and will insert a buyback clause on his contract. Except if we waste time, he leaves on a free. That's it. But if we're selling him now, I think a clause should be there we should be, because they're well aware of his talent. Believe me. But that, I get your argument, though. You don't like the player, and go ahead.
I like Billy Gilmour. He's very intelligent. He's not your typical British player. He's very Spanish in the way he plays. I like his style. the one player that maybe it's not on the agenda. The one player that I will happily sell is Conor Gallagher. I think he's quite limited in what he does. And Billy Gilmour offers us more.
I am not gonna join that fight with you.
It's just two different positions, though. I agree.
No,
though.
I
It's
know
two
it's a different position,
yeah.
but if I'm to sell,
Now, I get your argument, but
Yeah.
wait, you're gonna
I'm
handle that yourself. I'm not gonna keep coming there. Let's just finish with the Billy Gilmour argument. Anybody here on the panel haven't talked about Billy Gilmour?
respect Jorginho, please. I mean,
Respect them. Respect the
No,
goat.
no, no. You
He's
don't
the
think I
GOAT.
love him? I actually like him, and I understand his importance to the team. But
You
here's
come-
my argument: the Jorginho is a hybrid. It's a hybrid that is a regista, whereas Gilmour is a hybrid of DM and the regista. He's capable of fulfilling the Jorginho role. He's actually capable of fulfilling the role of a DM. That's how good this kid is. And I'm not just saying this because
Jorginho
I
can
like
do
him.
a DM though. He can do it. He's
He
done it
can.
for years.
DM isn't about muscle power. It's about you being able to
Busquets
read
did
the
it. Busquets
game and break up
is a
the
biscuit.
opposition's play.
Biscuits did it. He doesn't. He's not strong. I agree. I want my centre defense mid to be strong, but there's always an exception. I don't think Billy Gilmour's that exception.
would you
Well,
try?
again, we've gone beyond that one, and naturally,
one
anybody on the
question
panel
before-
hasn't speaking.
One
Anybody
more
on the
before-
panel hasn't speaking about Billy Gilmour.
Just a quick question before you move on. Would you trust Billy Gilmour receiving the ball from Thiago Silva or whoever is playing defense and he's being pressed by the opposition?
Yes. The Billy
Yeah, he's
Gilmour,
already done that.
we had. Listen, let me answer your question. The Billy Gilmour we had before he went on loan. Now he needs time to rediscover himself. Remember how he smoked? Was the Liverpool guy? Was it Fabinho?
Fernandinho.
Fernandinho.
I still see his clips the other day.
Was it
Yeah,
Fabinho?
Fernandinho.
It was the
Oh,
Samson
Fabinho,
he got
sorry.
the ball
Yeah,
and he was
Fabinho, sorry,
tight, but
Fabinho.
he's intelligent enough. Just he
Once.
used the touch on the ball to fake him out of the pitch. In fact, they had to go find him outside the stadium. This is just me exaggerating. He's that
He did that
intelligent.
once.
So it's not just one of the. If you followed him long enough, and it's always even when defending, when the opponents are coming to us, he's always in the right place to break up play. Even inside the box, on occasions he'd stop oppositions from scoring. It's that good. Maybe you haven't paid attention to him that much, but that's by the way. Let me just catch up so we can move up naturally. And I want to start with the player I heard you say something about, but that's okay. And you and I waiting for a serious fight today. Maybe we'll continue actually after the show. Fans that wants to hang on to J5 Alonso asked me, I stuck in the past intro. I think they heard you. Rodrigo, you come and tell me what you think of the same question about Conor Gallagher. And if you think we should accommodate him, where does he fit in the team?
Conor Gallagher, you said, yeah?
Yeah. You want us to keep him? You want us to sell him? Or you think it's good enough?
I will sell him because I think he's quite limited in his game. His ceiling is Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's ceiling is higher. So, I mean, we can't keep everyone in the team. If there's one youngster that I'm willing to sell, is Gallagher, and we can get quite a bit of money for him as well. He's a very basic player. He doesn't do anything that excites me. He's not. What is he good at? He's not good in defense. If he was good defensively, right? If he was, at least then I can say, right, we can play him deeper. But he's not good at progressing the ball. Sometimes his long range passes, sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. He tries too hard sometimes. And his short passing, yeah, he's all right, but he's not better than Mount. It's nowhere near Mount level. And if we want to go forward and compete with Liverpool and City, because Liverpool and City have set a very high standard, and we have to compete with that. We can't have people like Gallagher in the squad. He's good enough. I think right now we'll do him a favor to just sell him to Everton and get. I reckon we can get £45 million for Connor.
Whoa.
Yeah, Frank Tax, send him there.
Yeah, let him go.
Oh my gosh.
His ceiling is Mason Mount. That's his ceiling.
So
I can't
wait,
see
you're saying we
high.
got Mason Mounts, 2 Mason Mounts?
No, Mount has a higher ceiling. His ceiling is Mount, like the current Mount, because he's not better than Mount now, but he will eventually probably get to Mount level at some point in his career. At that point, Mount will be on a different level to him. And he's just so basic. He's basically salt and pepper. It's a salt and pepper spice. It's got no.
So would you say he's a great backup for Mount?
No. Oh, well, if we keep all right. If Ziyech goes, because I think Ziyech is the one that will play.
He's gone.
All right. If he goes, then I can see your point. Why we should probably keep him for that reason. Yeah, but he doesn't really.
Yeah, but even Ziyech struggled in what Mount did. With Mount, we had Mount coming back and making that midfield free, and kind of can do that as well. Very much in the same mold and same characteristics. There's not a lot of players that are playing almost like a 10 and an 8 in a hybrid. Up and join the attack and come back and support. There's a lot of running with that.
What is he
that
good
simpleton that you told me. Well, first of all, I think something that our team didn't have. He was pretty clinical for Palace, right? That's a big point because our team lacked in that all round, right? And he also has that what do you call that, dogfighting spirit that everyone praises Mount on, right?
It's the energy.
And he's also a young player, and he's probably just going to get better. He's probably, and there's a good chance he can excel in a team like Chelsea.
I think this guy will get you more goals than Mount.
No.
He arrives in the box more often than Mount. He gets you more goals than Mount. But go ahead. I get your argument. Again, Rodrigo, I think you've made your point. Overall, you don't think he's good enough. Is that what you're saying?
Put Mount in Crystal Palace. You see the damage he'll do.
But Rodrigo, this is the other thing. There was a big reason. If you look, Mount played a lot of games because of what I said. Because we didn't have anyone that can do Mount's role easy, right? Someone to join the attack and come back. And Mount played a lot of games because of that. Why didn't we rest Mount? If all these players can play his role, and even if they share the load with Connor, that's a massive plus. And Connor's younger too. He's going to get better.
Yeah, but his ceiling is Mount.
We don't know their ceiling. See, this is the thing about it, is that Gallagher can actually become a better player than Mount, or Mount can become a better player. You don't know.
He doesn't pass the eye test. He scored about.
Okay, let me ask you this.
But the Rodrigo. Eye test is one season, yeah.
Let me ask you this, Rodrigo. So overall, you think he isn't good enough?
That's harsh to say he isn't good enough. He's good, but he's not good enough to start for Chelsea.
Who said that's understanding, bro? He's on the bench.
Why are you confusing me, Rodrigo?
He's a good player. He's a good player. I'd keep him, but if I'm building my Chelsea team, he's not starting in that team.
Wait, hold on. How many players in your Chelsea team?
God, I'm damn.
How many players?
Rodrigo, what did I do to you?
No, there's not 11. There's 25 players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's 20. You got to build 25 players. Tell me how you build that 25 players.
Yeah, he'll be on the bench once I.
So what's wrong with that?
No. It's not gonna be. Once I fill in all the position, and if I've got a spot left,
that's Marley's not coming.
And he's the only one that's there, then I'll take him. But if say for example we sign a Gnabry or someone like that, then I'm not keeping him.
Why? But they're different players.
Okay, Clyde, you just go ahead, comment, talk to us about Gallagher. If you agree, if you think we should keep him, where does it fit in? How can we accommodate? How can the manager accommodate him? Because that has always been my concern, and I don't want him to come to Chelsea and see Thomas Tuchel play him as a number 6. There's a chance that happens, and I see some people talking about it. He's no number 6. We've already had enough issues playing as one of the two sixes.
The reason why Tuchel played him in the 6 in the preseason because Tuchel needed a backup.
I didn't even remember that. I actually didn't remember about him playing as a number 6 in the preseason.
He tried multiple players in the 6 because I think Gilmour was already set to go, right? And he was saying how's his depth looking in that position? Who can he play there, right? And he tried so many different players there too. And I see a lot of similarities between him and Mount. And there's a big reason why Mount played a lot of games. Everyone was even saying, even when Mount had a bad game, or a couple of even bad games, Mount always started. and people saw that as favoritism, right? But it wasn't favoritism.
No,
it was that no one else could do his role properly. For any other player, Ziyech, Pulisic, anyone.
Even when he's tired mentally, he still has that energy.
Yeah, and people don't see that role. The people keep thinking that front three are all attackers, and you know and people are even making their lineup. Oh, you know, even when we're linked to players, I'll just get Dembele and get Sterling and get Rafinha, and that's our three. No, people don't understand that. One of those three, right? Because our wing-back's part of our attacks. People get that very confusing with, you know, like especially like Conte's wing-backs and the other traditional wing-backs, which they do more defending than ours, right? Our ones are more attackers than defenders. So one of those front three have to come back and help the midfield. A lot of teams play with three midfields, right? And so they're going to get outnumbered. So someone has to help them. And to give everyone a bit of context, when Loftus-Cheek played right wing back, he didn't play right wing back. He played someone that was on the right.
It was a hybrid
came
role.
in and made the three in the middle, and Mount didn't have to come back, right? That's what happened there. And it was just a makeshift role to accommodate, you know, the lack of players we had, right? So that one position in the front three has to look like a 10 that comes back, right? And that's what Mount does, and no one else can do it. But now here we got a player, Gallagher, that can do it. And it's great because now Mount can play less games, and if something happens to Mount, Gallagher can come in. And also,
Leclerc, can Gallagher play right wing back?
100% he can play right wing back.
Huh?
And mate, he can run. He can play wing back. This boy can play wing back. But at the end of the day, too, if something else happens, if we have an injury crisis like we did, if we start to lose Pulisic, Sterling, you know, Havertz, we can put Gallagher up there as well.
Yeah,
so Gallagher is also covering a lot of roles.
Here's what I think. Just quickly, sorry, I apologize. In most cases, most people don't look. Most people don't look beyond the name right wing back, left wing back, and look at the application. That's the issue. The moment you say right wing back, they go, "Oh, why?" What they have in mind is the number 2 role, the traditional number 2 role, defending and all that. But that's, by the way. Go ahead.
So it's basically Ross Barkley then, right?
Yeah, but like 100 times better, let's say.
Yeah, he can offer more than Ross Barkley can.
You know what? He's Ross Barkley in preseason, because Ross Barkley is like the best player in preseason.
Wow.
The preseason Zidane.
Wow. Matt, can you come in?
Yeah, well, I just want to say on wing backs that people assume you can play any attacker there. It's 50-50. You gotta be a defender first to then play the wing back.
No, not in our system.
No,
that's what you understand.
That's the problem. I think
yes, you do.
You're not looking beyond the
because
name.
People say
you've misunderstood.
Yes, you need to defend. You need to defend. You need
don't.
to come in with the.
I'll tell you this, Matt. All right. In which order? Hold on. Let me finish the question.
Go.
In which order, right, of priority per position, does who comes back and defends the most? Let's just say goalkeeper and centre backs, 100% priority defenders. Yeah. Who's the next ones from there? DMs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 5 players.
Yeah.
Where's the next 5 players?
They don't come from the wing back.
We attack with 5 players, yeah?
Yeah, that's the thing with wing back. The wing backs attack and defend. That's what makes the hardest position. You got to be the winger and you got to play the right back. That's why we play 5 at the back, because
Are we a defensive team? Do we defend with 7 players?
Not all the time, but we sometimes do.
So would it be fair to say maybe 75%? 25%, like 75% attacker,
I've said it.
25% defender?
I think it's 50-50. I genuinely think it's 50-50. You
got
to have that defensive role first. To play a wing-back position, you got to have that defensive mindset first. I've always said you cannot turn an attacking player into a defensive role. That's why Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi never worked there. If we were to bring Rafinha would have never worked there because he's attacking-minded. You got to bring someone who's played the traditional 2 position, like a Reece James, like a Chua, who have that defensive mindset. And then you can put in that wing-back position, because then they can also develop the attacking mindset. But attackers cannot develop a defensive mindset.
right midfielders, even 4-3-3s, all the wingers and that do come back and contribute, right? They don't have to have amazing defensive, you know,
They don't have the amazing, but they gotta have it.
characteristics.
They gotta have.
They gotta be more
50% of
attackers.
it.
Tuchel threw Pulisic there. He threw Ziyech there.
Didn't work.
He threw Hudson-Odoi there, right? You know why? In Tuchel's system,
But it didn't work.
they're
That's why
50-50
they
in
did
other
it. It
systems.
didn't work.
No, they do work. Those players didn't show up, right?
No,
It does work.
It didn't work. What do you mean? 3 of the players
Listen,
who are wingers didn't, it didn't
hold
work.
on. Who was our best attackers till they got injured? Chilwell and Reece James, yeah?
Yeah.
So how did they get into positions of goal scoring, right? If they're
Because that's
50-50s?
no, because they do that. They push up and they push back. That's what makes them.
Yeah,
such
but Matt,
good
what I'm
wingbacks
trying
in our
to
system.
explain to
Because
you,
I understand what you're saying. Yes, because they progress attackingly, but they also come defend. That's what I'm saying. It's 50-50. You defend, you attack.
no, it's not
They
50-50
do
on the team.
fantastic
Those guys spend more time in attack than defense. So why would you have a player with 50-50 characteristics, right? If they're spending more times in attack, should we put like 50-50 guys up front, right? Should we have a striker that comes back and helps as well?
No, there's no
Declan,
need for that.
you go
It's at
ahead,
the top of the pitch.
He's going to spend time there, yeah. So if the
that
wing backs
wing
are spending more times in
develops
attack,
the whole
why
wing,
have
though.
50-50?
Develops the whole wing.
No, they're
That's
there
why
to
they
stretch the
develop it,
play,
because
man.
They develop it. Yeah, they stretch the
They're
play.
there
But
to
they
stretch
also
the play.
still got to defend. You still got to
All right,
defend.
let's-
Let me explain the role. Let me
flip the argument.
let me sum up the role.
Let's-
They're there to stretch the attack, right? And they spend more time in attack than defense. So if you to get the best out of that role is to have a person that can play down the line, all right? That can be way better at attacking. We're gonna get the best people if they can play. If they can do the best at I'm trying to say 10 things at once here. If we can get the best out of roles, if we have better attacking players there, right? And also, you're right, they do come back, and at times, depending on the team, they have to contribute as well. So if they can do that too, but the most priority thing is they have to be good attackers. In Tuchel's system, you're right about other systems and other people that play it, 50-50. But in Tuchel's system, it's a lot more different.
What is
they
it?
are part
what's
of our
the,
attack.
what's the percentage you think then?
How much time they spent there?
Yeah.
All right,
I said
all right,
50-50. What's
Declan,
your one?
you haven't told us how you think Thomas
For a
Tuchel
number
can
of
accommodate
75,
Gallagher.
80, whatever. They're like normal wingers, bro. You know Tuchel played Neymar in that position in one of the cups for PSG when he played free at the back. He put
Do you think
Neymar in that
Neymar could do
position
the
too.
other 30%, 20%? Nah. Couldn't. He could attack, but he couldn't
No,
defend.
I
get
he
it,
couldn't
might not
defend,
need
but
to,
all
but
he
you gotta
needed,
have it.
all he needed for him was to come back, right, and just contribute, right. It's just look, if Tuchel didn't see that position like that, he wouldn't throw Pulisic, Cho, and Ziyech and players like that. That's how he sees the position. Those players didn't show up, right, but that doesn't change Tuchel's the way he sees that role and what he needs from that role. And our when we attack with 5, it's 2 wing backs and those 3 forwards, right? So you'd want good attacking players. If Reece James and Chilwell weren't clinical or weren't that good at attacking, and you saw Alonso got the best out of that role too when he was attacked, right? He couldn't defend, but we got the best out of Alonso in attack, right? But going back, he couldn't run back. So the role demands a lot of running, right? The role demands you need to be good attacking because you're part of the attack, right? You're going to get assists, you're going to get chances, right? And with the attack comes you got to contribute in defending as well. But you got to stretch the play a lot. So it's a demanding one. It's very misunderstood in the way Tuchel wants to play it. But that's how the role is played. If you maybe that I said that maybe we can watch a game like next time you watch a game, just don't watch the ball and watch the wing backs, and you'll kind of see what I'm getting at.
I'll let Coach
Yeah,
go because I don't
okay,
think he
Declan,
wants
you
to
haven't
continue
told
this
us
argument.
how you think Thomas Tuchel can accommodate Conor Gallagher. Where do you think he'd play?
He said Mount.
I did, yeah.
Matt hasn't said anything.
Yeah, I said it.
speak
How
on
I
it?
compared him to Mount and that role they did. Yeah.
Okay, you think he'd fulfill the mantra, which means they can't staff together.
No, they can. It's just that there was no one else to help Mount do his role, and Mount played too many games because of it. So just because of that alone, he can take a lot of load off, and they can also play together as well if need be. But I think if Mount plays, I would prefer to have like someone like Sterling and whatnot. If it's Sterling, Havertz or Broja or whoever other attackers are, I think. But I mean, let's say Mount and Gallagher are in the same form. What's to say they don't play all the time? So It's good competition. It's good backup for Mount, which we need. We didn't have. So I think we can get the best out of Mount if he plays a little bit less games, because he is young, and we're gonna kill the kid if we keep playing him the way he's been playing. And there's there's more games this season more than anything.
He's going to retire at the age of 21 if we continue like that. Again, anybody on the panel that hasn't, haven't spoken about Conor Gallagher, I think it's time we call it a day. I have to go. Ty has a show. He's actually waiting for me. I'll share the link to his show in case you want to go.
Did we miss Kimpembe? Did I miss Kimpembe talk? Did I miss the Kimpembe talk?
No, we haven't. We haven't talked about him this show. We'll probably talk about him during the evening show. Yeah.
You missed the main show. Kimpembe, the maestro.
Maestro Kimpembe.
The maestro Kimpembe.
We'll talk about him probably towards the end of the show. So let's go ahead. I want to get your thoughts. Let's start with IBZ. Your thoughts on everything we talked about today, not final thoughts.
Yeah, as you do, it's all informative. Conor Gallagher, he doesn't go anywhere. He proves that his defensive numbers, his pressing numbers, they're really good. He's very
which
doggish.
Is something Tuchel likes.
Yeah, and we don't have the depth enough to cover Mason Mount. So yeah, he will fit in that role brilliantly, and he can play alongside him. He can. Conor Gallagher's good enough. I don't see how that's out of all the loanees coming back, he's the best. So yeah, I'll give him a chance. I think he deserves it. Yeah, it's good to go. I don't see any problem with that at all. If Kante gets injured, he can play that role. If Mason Mounts get injured, he can play that role. Yeah, he can play box to box. He can play box to box. He can play box to box and ball winning. He could be a ball winning midfielder. He can box to box midfielder. I'm not saying he could play as a lone pivot and a 4-3-3. He potentially could, but yeah, he's got the ability. Looking at him now, bear with me. Hold on. Yeah, he's got it. I don't see how we could see different, especially what he did for Palace last season. Was absolutely phenomenal. His midfield work rate allowed a lot of the midfielders to have space, especially the attackers. So if he comes to us, that will always be a benefit. So I'm all for Conor Gallagher staying. Don't loan him. Don't sell him. Keep him in the side. He'll be big for us years to come. So yeah, that's my take on Conor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Says True Blue says Chilwell and James got certain goals because of the inside forwards who were wingers going out and dragging defenders. How did the wing back this work at Everton and putting up pressure on Aspie? Again, it hasn't worked all the time. Again, that's what else I can say. Let me see if there's anything else to address here. Barkley is entering last year of his contract. Should sell him now, and I think he want the club to forget about him, so he leaves on the free. It's not like he gets a chance to play for England again. He'd have to be exceptional out there. Whoever said Mount and Gallagher cannot start together is ridiculous. Again, I have my argument for that. Maybe we'll talk about it another day. But Dales, I thank you for that argument there. I am a Chelsea fan from Kenya. It is my first time here. Thank you very much for joining us. And sorry if you joined us late. And next time, I will take time to make sure I read your contributions in the chat to those that are watching. So then coming to you, Matt, your thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Yeah, obviously it was a good chat. Joined a bit late, but obviously we've made some signings, which is happy really to discuss that today. Koulibaly, Sterling, here we go. Great signings. Now next up on the radar is looking like it's Ake and the Maestro Kimpembe. So we're making moves. And September 1st, 12 a.m. I'll be celebrating when Declan Rice isn't wearing a Chelsea shirt, and Jorginho and Kepa are staying. So I'm going to be having a great party then.
Yep. Again, I don't want Declan Rice to come to Chelsea, and I have my reason. And again, I'm sharing the link to Ty's show. Let's go support him after the show.
I have to do a new one. The stream just ended. I don't know why.
What happened? Okay, do a new one and say share the link and let me know.
Yeah.
And I'm not able to retweet your tweet, but that's by the way. Now, Matt, thank
No,
you,
I
Matt.
took
You
I
don't
took
know
it off. I took it off because I
Okay.
had set my account to private.
All right. Matt, should I move to someone else or are you done?
Yep, now good.
All right, thank you very much. How about you, Declare your thoughts? Let me say your final thoughts. Rodrigo, don't say anything, please. Your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today, Declare.
It's a. I was trying to think what I said there.
Be patient. Be
I was
patient.
saying be patient.
No, let's say again.
But
we'll
I
talk
can't
about
say
your
that no
final
more because
thoughts
we got
again.
signings. We don't have to be patient no more. The transfers are here, and now it's about how many we're gonna get. Maybe people are gonna get sick of the amount of signings. Maybe it's too many signings. So you be prepared for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's a chance. We'll sign. I think we'll sign more players than expected. Actually, I think. But thank you for that final thoughts, by Rodrigo. Your final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thought for today. Yeah, obviously we talked a lot about the young players, Colwill, Gilmour, Broja, Gallagher, where they fit in the team. It's good discussion from all of them. Yeah, all these young players have got quality. They've shown in the loans or they've shown on the part of the Chelsea team. So I can see them staying. I can say maybe 3 of them will stay, and then maybe 1 or 2 will go. And unfortunately, the one I can see that can fetch us a lot of money would be Gallagher. That's not me saying Gallagher is a bad player. Gallagher, yeah, he's a good player, can stay. If obviously if he wants to stay, then I'm more than happy to have him in the squad as a rotational player. And then another player, the biggest signing I'm still waiting is to sign someone to compete with Reece James. That is a critical signing that we need to make. I'm comfortable with the left
really good news that I hear. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That we're going back for Jonathan Klaus.
Yes, we have to get him.
I think it was in the. I forgot who said it, Rodriguez, but I think it was stated that we're after a backup for him.
Yeah, we have
Reece
to.
James.
Like,
yeah.
We on the left hand side. Yeah, say whatever you want about Emerson and Alonso, but I think Tuchel really likes Emerson. The reason he went on loan is because we couldn't offload Alonso. So I think Emerson can do a decent job, or even really good job on the left. And if we sign Ake, that's another player that if obviously in emergency situation he can play in that role. But we don't have anyone on the right because Chalobah can't play wing back. He can play right back, but he can't play wing back. So we need someone to compete with Reece James. That's the signing I'm waiting for. And like Matt said, yes, Maestro Kimpembe. We need crazy defenders. All our players are really nice guys, the hard workers, but we don't have a crazy man, a madman in defense, like a Rudiger.
Like a Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, so let's take Kimpembe and Tuchel need to tell him you need to calm down on red card and your rashness, but his mentality is fighting spirit. That's exactly what we need. And
I think Tuchel is pushing for him, man.
Yeah, I think
that's his guy.
He wants him. He really does want him.
I hope PSG's having a bit of fire sale. Yeah, they need to sell some players. So
I would take from PSG as someone to back up to Kante is Idrissa Gana Gueye. He's not on the preseason squad. So I'm thinking maybe we could, but then again, the issue with him is of this more political issue around boycotting. So okay, I don't want to go into that, but we should look at PSG. There's a fire sale going on there. So yeah, we could get a couple decent players from there.
You know the thing is, if the technical director Lopez, if he likes the player. So if he wants Kimpembe, I don't think he'll leave. But there's a lot of players on big wages they want to move on.
Yeah.
What do you think was going to happen when they were incurring all those, getting all those players at those prices?
They just thought if they can buy all the best players, everything will just happen.
Would you take Ronaldo?
Nope,
Nah, I think
That's
it's 12
me.
now.
I wouldn't.
Isn't he 32?
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
about
I think
his age.
he's getting on a bit.
Yeah. Again, Mordecai, Ben, apologies. I think you were blocked accidentally. It wasn't intentionally. So and just you all alerted me, and I did something immediately. So you're back on. Apologies, sincere apologies. Anybody on the channel? Okay, Ty, your final thoughts if you have time, or if you're busy trying to set up the show. I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay,
I'm still here.
Okay, your final thoughts on what we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of controversial opinions that I heard. But at the end of the day, we all have our opinions. We all have to respect each other. Based on what I have watched of the stream, it's been interesting. It's been a good debate, especially with what's his name, Declared and Matt. It was good. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Gallagher as well. It's down to my management as well on Tuchel's Sport. If he wants to keep Gallagher, then he'll keep him, and we go from there. But I think it was a good stream. I mean, I'll have to go back to watch some bits, but I will eventually rewatch it. But I guess in that sense, it was a good stream. Obviously, you say you didn't speak about Koulibaly. I'd be interested to be a part of the stream when you do speak about Koulibaly. But it's a good stream as usual, and I just hope that in the end, you get to the higher heights that I think you deserve to get to.
Thank
And
you. I
Ty, I'm about
appreciate
to
that.
go
I think-
sabbatical. I'm just close to going sabbatical. I think that I'm tired of driving this bus. Come on, tell me.
You think I don't know? But hold on to the key for a while. You don't drop it quickly because you might regret it. And I think the Clad knows too. Again, you should.
I send the link to you.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for all the support. All those on the panel also. Please see their social media handle. You have IBZ Shed, and I think you should find them if you search that name. Follow them all. I will start soon. I've asked them to send me their bio so that I can, be able to add them to the show the moment the show starts. Like I've been able to add that of TyTalks and Matt, even though the show is still on. So if you haven't, please send me your bio the way you want it. You can add your Instagram handle. You can add your Twitter handle. But I'll add it. Again, I appreciate you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you for all the support. You guys, are the reason why the channel, your brilliant contributions as the panelists here are the reasons why the channel is approaching 5,000, subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough. With that, I say thank you to all of you. Thank you to all those in the chat. Thank you to TyTalks. This is the links in the chat. You can see the link to TyTalks show. He's changed it. Be sure, even if you're not going to watch, take a second to drop a like on the video. That will help him reach more people. I appreciate that. We'll plan on redirecting people automatically, but we didn't have the time to do it. Again, Ty, they're asking you for the link. Chelsea the Kingslayer, thank you very much. And Mitch Shetty, nice to see you here. It's Kami, nice to see you. Thank you very much. Chelsea the Kingslayer, my brother, thank you for all the support. Joyce Viola, the queen of the house, thank you so much. And Blue Blob, thank you. Of course, Ben, who's new here, Ben, thank you. Lee, thank you. And I know we had True Blue here. True Blue, thank you so much for all the support and input in the chat. I appreciate you. And if I missed, Liam Lane was also here. If I miss saying your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys at the end of the day for the evening show. God bless us all, and bye.